kauden kovimpiin koitoksiin. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
It's Monday. You know what that means. The ECL Elite Division is back following our holiday break, and the action is going to be as entertaining as ever, Sin, is my prediction. My name is Tugi, also known as that Bruins fan whose face you wanted to punch for the majority of this past weekend, joined as always by my broadcast partner in one, Sin, for the wins. And it's only been a couple of weeks, but it almost feels like a lifetime. I got the itch to call these games again. It's been way too long. How are you feeling? Happy New Year to you as well. This is going to be a good day.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, all our viewers, everything. And I'm stoked for these matchups. I mean, we're going to see, two of the top teams go at it, and a team that really is going to be tested by this matchup right here. Vesa Pompa up against Philadelphia. They've had a great start to the season, 11-3. Now they're going up against one of the, anointed top teams of the ECL for so many seasons. This is the true test for Vesa Pompa.
Absolutely. That is our first matchup of the day, the battle of 2 and 3, as you see on screen, Vesa Pompa and Philadelphia. A little bit later on in this broadcast, we'll be covering a series between two teams that are on the outside looking in right now, but of course the battle for those playoff positions towards the bottom half of the table, incredibly close here heading in to the back half of this regular season. It'll be Conquer Gaming and Färjestad a little bit later on in this broadcast, so make sure to buckle up. We got a long way to go here this afternoon to ring in 2021 with this ECL Elite season. As you get a look at the standings there, and again, Sin, we talked about it, some very close races. You look at the difference in points between the 4th team in Gotham Knights and the 9th team in Färjestad. So incredibly close. Of course, Havu and Philadelphia, the top 2 teams in this division year after year, still right there. Havu undefeated in regulation, so they have the bump there. But very interesting, of course, to look at the standings and know that we are far from set in terms of the playoff structure.
Yeah, and with some of the roster apocalypse that happened, we're seeing some of those teams who were on the top and maybe looking to build on that sort of, further down than they were as they adjust, as they try to get that chemistry ready. But you said it. I mean, there's very little difference in points when it comes to that 4 through 9. Even if you go down to that 10, 11, you are literally one good day, 2 wins from being potentially tied with one of those teams right there if everything, sort of works in your favor. So this is going to be such a tight race for, those middle playoff spots. I can't wait to see how it unfolds in the latter half of this season.
A $15K prize pool awaiting the winner of whoever can crown themselves champions here at the end of this. Again, getting ready for the second half of our regular season. And we're going to kick things off, as we mentioned, the battle of the third seed. The third team right now in Vesa Pompa taking on the second team in Philadelphia. Sin, let's get into the team matchup here. Get you guys a look at some of the key stats that we have heading into this 2-game set. And Sin, there's a number that really jumps off the page here, I would say. I imagine it's the one that stands out for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. 50 goals for Philadelphia. I mean, they're both very comparable in goals against, but Philadelphia just flat out scores more. I mean, you got the slight edge to Vesa Pompa in the special teams race, and that's going to have to be very, very good. But against a team like Philadelphia, who can hurt you in so many ways, Vesa Pompa have got to be on their toes early, and they've really got to, play with that high intensity throughout every single period, every single game.
Absolutely. With that, let's get you to the team lineups before we get things going with the individual breakdowns. For Vesa Pompa, we see the front three of Villapoika, Ekin, and Jurgeli on defense, Sebbe Larsson and Lemonens. And between the pipes, one of our key players today, it is Phase 91. On the flip side, for the former champions in Philadelphia, it is Playmaker, the captain Potzloff, and Eki up top, J. Toro and Loimu on defense. And it's Kape back between the pipes in. He's been someone who looked to have a little bit more of a utility role this season. Hasn't played every game in net, has played the majority. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a little bit. Another key thing to note here, Sin, as we kind of talked about these two teams, you look at the matchups that they had heading into that little holiday break. Vesa Pompa on a decent little run right now. I believe 3-1-1. Actually, it might be 3-1-0, I should say. So a really good run for them, of course. On the flip side, though, it's Philadelphia 4-0 heading into that holiday break, which really isn't all that surprising. And we'll talk about why that happened here as we get into these individual breakdowns. And as always, we'll kick things off with the battle of the centers. It is Ekin for Vesa Pompa, Potzloff for Philadelphia. Sin, what stands out to you?
Well, it's the thing that I always got because we don't actually have it on screen. It's the face-off differential. It's a 10% differential between Potzloff and Ekin, with Potzloff having the advantage. He's always a incredibly capable center, not just production-wise, but where it counts for the centers, and that's on the back check, in the defensive zone, in those key face-offs, and by winning a lot of those key face-offs, he has the second best face-offs percentage here in the league. And when it comes to Ekin, he's just below 50%. That's not to say that if he doesn't win those key faceoffs, he gives his team a chance to win, but the flat out numbers themselves are in favor of Potzloff in pretty much almost every category.
We'll talk about that matchup a lot more a little bit later on. Again, Philadelphia riding a 6-game winning streak heading into that holiday break. Since they've outscored their opponents, 21-6, 3 shutouts in that, dominating the shots and time on attack. Key point today is Ekin's ability to win the draw and get those a little bit of extra attacking opportunities, really, in that extra bit of puck possession. We'll move things over to the battle of the wingers. Again, for Vesa Pompa, we have Villapoika and Jurgeli, and on the flip side, it is Playmaker and Eki. Sin, responsible set, both in terms of the two-way game for these four, but obviously the offense shines. Strong numbers for Vesa Pompa, but obviously it's just on a whole nother level for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the sheets, you're just seeing, guys up there in the top 5 all across the board for Philadelphia. And I mean, when this team 6 has been together as long as they have, I mean, the chemistry's there. There's not a whole lot of adjustments. Vesa Pompa, pretty similar, lineup, but there are some, key differences. But, Villapoika, Jurgeli, they're going to have to be on their A game to match what Playmaker and Eki bring to the table season after season.
Absolutely. Moving over to the battle of the blue line. The defenders in this matchup. For Vesa Pompa, we have Sebbe Larsson and Lemonins. On the flip side for Philadelphia, Jay Toro and Loimu. Again, Sin, respectable numbers offensively as well. And we certainly know that the pairing for Philadelphia can contribute offensively more than just about anybody else in this league when it comes to defensemen.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when it comes to Vesa Pompa, they may not have the points that you'd expect out of them, especially with year pass. Losing Antonio back there, that obviously affected it. But Lehmanen's no slouch on the offensive side of things. So it might just be that, the touches haven't gone their way. But on the flip side, Jay Toro and Loimu, both prolific goal scorers on the back end. Jay Toro first amongst defensemen in goals. Loimu tied for third. They both have plenty of points, but it's very interesting to see just the sheer amount of goals that the pair of them have. I mean, that's 10 in between them. That accounts for 1/5 of the total goals coming out of Philadelphia, which is, for defensemen in the way EASHL goes, it's very impressive.
Practically unheard of, one could argue. We move things over now to the battle of the goaltenders, the battle between the pipes here. As for Vesa Pompa, again, one more time, it is FaZe. On the flip side, the ever-present Kape Sin, 2 of the best in the ECL Elite, 2 of the best that you will see in the competitive sixes scene, regardless of what side of the globe you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you look at that save percentage from Kape, you might kind of hesitate a little bit. But what it comes down to is when you're a team as good as Philadelphia, who possesses the puck like they do, who outshoot their opponents like they do, sometimes, when those tiny breakdowns happen, it's, an in-tight opportunity, more of an A+ chance rather than teams just throwing it on, from random areas like that, because you don't want to give possession back to Philadelphia. So it can be tough for a goaltender to maintain a high, save percentage when you're not facing that many opportunities. That being said, FaZe has been absolutely lights out. First in save percentage, third in goals against, tied for third in shutouts. And speaking of shutouts, look at that number, 6 for Kape. I mean, geez, it's impressive. Both of these guys, I'm so excited to see the battle between the pipes.
6 shutouts in 14 games for a guy who thought he might play out of the crease a little bit more this season. So much for that when you're putting up numbers of that caliber. We're just a few moments away from puck drop here. Game 1 of this 2-game set, again, between Vesa Pompa and former champions in Philadelphia. Before we do that, of course, we have our 3 keys to success for both sides. We are going to start things off with Vesa Pompa. And Sin, you just talked about him, but I got to talk about him again to reiterate. FaZe is one of the keys to success for Vesa Pompa. You mentioned the numbers, MVP caliber numbers, not just goaltender of the year caliber numbers here. If he is able to have as strong of a second half, it's tough to say that Vesa Pompa won't make the playoffs and be impactful in the playoffs. Alongside that, second chance here, second point here is make your chances count. One of those aspects, that I just mentioned that kind of need to catch up to what FaZe has done is the goal scoring for Vesa Pompa. They're 10th in total goals as a team and 11th in shots. So we're likely to see fewer shots, but of a higher quality, and those shots need to go in. And in general, Vesa Pompa need to get their offensive game going if they want to prove to be a legitimate title threat. Of course, the defensive goaltending certainly on point. And the final point here, Sin, you mentioned this as well, the face-off, where Ekin has an uphill battle in front of him, facing a center that has won 10% more of the draws this season than he has. Key wins in the draw can get Vesa Pompa those extra chances. Sin, we move over to the keys for Philadelphia. What do you got for us?
Well, as one of these top tier teams, it's up to them to set the tempo. I mean, it can be, a bit of a cop out. Hockey often is sometimes a game of cliches. You're just saying, keep doing what you're doing, play your game. But for Philadelphia, it's absolutely true. They're averaging nearly 15 shots per game while allowing just 5.5. I mean, that's a winning formula more often than not, and they're going to have to keep that up if they're want success against one of these other top teams. The next one here is to stay disciplined. They do have the fewest amount of penalties taken in the league, and while they might want to up the PK percentage from 75%, you might also just want to not take penalties at all, especially when Vesa Pompa is the second-rated power play to play against. Probably not the best team to get your reps in. And the last but not least here is a second half heat up. Don't call it a comeback. Playmaker has a goal per game so far this season, but last year he had 2 goals per game. Ho-hum, not doing as well, but still absolutely lights out and, prolific goal scorer for his team. But if Philadelphia want to reclaim that, crown, Playmaker's going to have to take it upon himself to give it just that extra little bit and really kick it up a few notches.
And again, we'll see if he can do just that in a matter of moments. Puck drop, the first game of 2 between Vesa Pompa and Philadelphia coming up in just a matter of moments. Again, we thank you very much for joining us here on this broadcast, our first of 2021. It's taken some getting used to there, and all things considered. But, of course, very excited to see how things are going to go down the back half of this season and heading into the playoffs. Of course, all the information that you need, NHLgamer.com, not just for our top tier here in the elite division, but the other 3 tiers that we have as well. Over 250 teams involved in this, professional representation from Sweden, Finland, Russian clubs as well in the KHL. The ECL and NHL Gamer here doing some very special things. Now, Sim, before puck drop here, we're also going to get everybody a look at the top skaters right now in the league up to this point. Again, the first half of the season in the books. And unsurprisingly, Havu, Philadelphia, and H-Reds, 3 of our top clubs last season, dominating the board so far.
Yeah, I mean, to be expected to see, the green and the orange up there. H-Reds, maybe not in where they want to be in the standings, but they are getting, plenty of production. You can think, maybe just a bit more defense goaltending. They could really start shooting their way up the standings. But it's interesting to see Handy up there with the Gotham Knights, who I believe right now are on the outside looking in. So, he's doing his bit right there. And it's pretty cool to see, a team that's maybe not one of the top ones with a skater that's doing so well. He's kind of like, the ace in the hole for them.
Absolutely. And again, they've been one of those teams heading into the season that do have playoff aspirations. Sin, I am going to say, though, you have to put some respect on the Gotham Knights, currently 4th in the league. However, I don't blame you for getting that wrong, because that's a club that, historically, I would say, they're one of those clubs that we've thought of over the past couple of seasons where it's, are they going to be able to take that step up? We've talked about it consistently. Last year, it was H-Reds. It was Yippee Vaskala. Are they going to be able to challenge our top 2 in Philadelphia and in Havu? Ultimately, it didn't happen. And now you have a club like this in Gotham Knights where they might just be able to take that next step. We'll see, of course, again, if they're able to. Vesa Pompa, another one of those teams looking to take that big leap this season. Let's also get you a look at the top 10 goaltenders so far this season. And again, Sim, we've talked about him a lot. FaZe is up there, as is Kape, with a very impressive total. As you said, 6 shutouts. Sibelius, though, with 5, of course, jumping to the main competition there in Havo. But you got to look at FaZe's numbers once more. And it's tough to see Vesa Pompa not pushing for title contention here if they can just get those other aspects of their game on board. But what a season for FaZe so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be such a huge reason that Vesa Pompa has taken that next step. I mean, it comes down to defense and goaltending a lot of the time. I mean, yeah, they need to get their goal scoring numbers up there, but they're still scoring, more than they're letting in, and a big reason is FaZe.
Caught me on a sneeze break there, Sim, but that's okay. It's one of those things. You got to get back into the rotation. It's tough after 3 weeks to try and convince your body, hey, you just don't have to sneeze anymore. It's never a thing. Regardless of that, Sin, again, we are just about ready to go. And, of course, we'll point them out here because we always do. 2 founding members of the bandwagon. McSavid up there for Färjestad. Again, we'll be seeing Färjestad in action a little bit later on. Again, we have 2 games here to kick things off in this broadcast, Vesa Pompa and Philadelphia. And after that, of course, it'll be Conquer Gaming and Färjestad, 2 teams also looking to work their way into the playoff structure. We talked about it earlier with the standings, such an incredibly close race up and down the 16-team standings as it stands. Top 8 make the postseason, and this matchup here between 2 of our top 3 teams right now could go a long way. Now, since you talk about the advantages of, home ice advantage in the real world setting can kind of help a little bit here too in terms of the hosting side of things. So every game certainly does matter at this stage. You want that highest seeding, of course, as possible. So, Sin, again, just about ready to go with this here, taking a little bit longer than we may have thought, but that is okay. I have a feeling this series is going to be worth the wait when it comes to this matchup here. Tough to bet against Philadelphia in this first matchup. Really, we have to look for Vesa Pompa to kind of make that impactful statement here and say, hey, we're here to play, and we are looking to take that step up. So what do you think? Of course, we've talked about the keys for Vesa Pompa. What's it really going to take? I mean, aside from, I guess, everything we talked about, the face-offs, you need the goal scoring to be there. I'm going to do it. Call somebody out. Who's the one that really needs to step out for Vesa Pompa to get them to where they need to be, buddy? Who's it going to be? It's the best being in the hot seat, isn't it?
It's I can't even say it'll be one player. What they need to do here is they really need to get out of the gate strong. Historically, we've seen at times Philadelphia be sometimes a little slow out of the gates, like trying to ease into the game. And that can work sometimes when your opponent is matching that. But we've seen it a couple times when Philadelphia, they get down early, then they're, struggling to get back. All of a sudden, they don't have their system in place. They're not playing, to their strengths. They're having to open things up more than they would like. So if Vesa Pompa could get off to that strong start, and if Philadelphia is trying to ease into it, that could be, a big way to get ahead early for Vesa Pompa in that first game, and then really put the saddle on FaZe and try to get themselves a victory here. But yeah, it's tough to bet against Philadelphia, but like I said, if Vesa Pompa can get off to a good start, they got a real chance here in game 1.
Absolutely. So again, as was pointed out in chat, a little bit of technical difficulties on the Philadelphia side of things, trying to bide time here, I suppose. And it's tough for us to bide time, not just because what is there to talk about? We have plenty to talk about. But I'm so excited here, of course, for the start of this. And there you go, Sin. You see it. We're just about ready to go. The teams have finally been able to match up. Anything that stands out for you here, if we can get a quick look, although it seemed to have disappeared really quickly. Always love to see what builds the teams happen to be using.
That's what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. So.
Someone clicking the right stick to keep it on the names and maybe hiding something. No, probably not. There we go. Pretty much what's expected. Playmakers, puck movers, hybrid goaltenders. And that just really comes down to preference. Oftentimes, they kind of do a lot of the similar things, but the defensive capabilities of that puck mover is really what gives it the edge here, especially in this rendition of NHL where, intercepts weren't as strong, but poke checks are, all the more important. So that's really what seems to be the meta here in Europe. And I don't know. I haven't seen too much high level NHL North America, but it doesn't seem to be kind of, trending that way here in NA for the most part. So it's kind of interesting seeing the meta between the 2 regions here. But Euro, they love that puck possession and they love the, the poke check boost.
Absolutely. So again, the puck moving defenseman, kind of the key build here. You see a lot of it in action in this first matchup. You see them there, Vesa Pompa in the white, and we're going to go with the yellow, and of course Philadelphia in the black and orange. Sin, it feels good to say Elite Division action is back here in the ECL. Again, our first game of 2021. Let's get down to business. Puck drop underway, and again, we'll see if Ekin is able to put up a bit of a fight as he does win the first face-off here. And we'll see what Vesa Pompa is able to do, and if they're really able to establish some blue line control early on. Very tough to do against a team like Philadelphia, who you see back in possession here only for the moments. Once more, Vesa Pompa trying to break into the zone, not quite there. Philadelphia back in possession once more. Their first breakout. When Vesa Pompa not able to shut them down. Chance for Potzloff, not able to get that pass over to Eki in front. Vesa Pompa in possession once more, but there you see Sin. I mean, the two-way play of Eki is, I don't want to say legendary, but it is top-notch.
Yeah, he and Flyer Kungen are really two of the favorite wingers that I like to watch, especially on the defense and forechecking side of things.
Again, Philadelphia back in possession once more. So Loimu trying to find a little bit of a breakout, not able to make it past the presence there for Vesa Pompa. Once again, Philadelphia charging down. Eki tries to throw it across off the pads of FaZe. Eki has it once more around the back. Playmaker all the way to the point. Shot deflects just wide. Philadelphia still in possession here, though. Potzloff takes his time. We know they're not afraid to hold on to the puck, get that possession game going. That suffocating offensive style. Shot on, deflected wide. Eki tries to throw one on from an odd angle, and FaZe takes that one and forces the face-off.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot more of that, those odd angle shots this year from anywhere, especially glove side. That seems to be a really hot spot to score from those odd angles. Catch the goalie out, it's just slightly off the angle, and it can go in.
Chance here once more. Potzloff again trying to find Eki down low. Playmaker had an opportunity at that one as well. Right now, Vesa Pompa really struggling to deal with the offensive pressure here. Eki tries to walk his way through. Potzloff nearly able to get that one on as well. This one's dropped all the way back down to FaZe. Good bit of patience there. Good puck movement from Vesa Pompa. That's what you need, but easily shut down there by Jay Toro just as quickly. Errant pass back into the hands of Vesa Pompa. Halfway through this first period, a slow start for Vesa Pompa, but they've yet to give up that opening goal. They do find that goal, can certainly put Philadelphia on the back foot, maybe get it to more of a Vesa Pompa style of play. Good pass down the boards there, tried to go back in front. The opportunity wasn't there. Great two-way play there by the centerman in Potzloff. There's a little bit of trouble there. Sim, we've seen that a couple of times. Jurgeli and Villapoica willing to step up, try and force those turnovers in the offensive zone. Potzloff not able to dangle his way through there. Furious pace at the start of this one, though, Sin, which is something that we've seen often this year.
Yeah, and I really like it. You know, there's very little of that feeling out process early on. I mean, the break-ins, I wouldn't say easier to complete, but teams are just really understanding how this game's played.
Shot on, deflected wide off the traffic in front. Along the half wall, recovered once more by Eki. Has it here. Great passing, and they score! Loimu in front off the give and go with Eki, and Philadelphia strike first.
And you're seeing why the defense of Philadelphia has the goals that they do. Their pinches perfectly timed, and I mean, good gracious. I mean, just what a play, what patience, and just the perfect time to pass, and he's able to beat FaZe. Not a whole lot he could do. He played it as best as he could, but the forecheck from Philadelphia is really what started that off. Vesa Pompa having trouble in their own end. Philadelphia not easing into this game whatsoever, coming out fast and furious, and it gave them a 1-goal lead here in the first.
Great start there for the former champions. Again, looking to get back to the top of the mountain after falling short in last year's final to Havu. Sure, they love hearing me talk about that as much as we do, Sin, but regardless, here's Vesa Pompa in the zone, trying to work their way through, but the layers of defense there. Potzloff so strong in helping out his defenders in the defensive zone, as you would expect to see it. But Sin, right now, what we're seeing is complete red line control by Jay Toro and Loimu, cutting out the majority of the Vesa Pompa attacks before they can even get going. Space for Eki between the legs and denied by FaZe. We've seen a couple of between the legs goals at the World Juniors. Nearly saw one there as well.
Yeah, and remember, we saw one last season from Playmaker there, so maybe Eki with a little bit of anything you can do, I can do better. Unfortunately, on that one, did not go in.
Interception here, the opportunity on the rush. Loimu's back with him and shuts it down. Great read there, though, to pick off that D-to-D pass. And, Sim, we know that's something that's going to be there. We know Philadelphia love to work it amongst the defensemen. Of course, we've also seen already in this game that those two defensemen love to pinch in and try to make things happen in the offensive zone. Vesa Pompa here, 45 seconds to work with, not able to get anything going there. This one fired wide, and we'll go down for icing. So a good chance here for them to perhaps get a goal and get their spirits up heading into the second period.
Yeah, definitely. A late goal here would do a lot for Vesa Pompa. He's either going with an aggressive face-off. If they can win this, they might have a set play.
And does win it. Quick chance, rifled wide. Incredible power on that shot. Second chance doesn't go. Defended well. Potzloff with 4 seconds. Gets it back from Eki. Won't be able to get a shot on target. Beautiful face-off play there. Then it looked like Philadelphia knew it was coming, but that shot just a little bit off the mark. Philadelphia takes the 1-0 lead into the second period.
Yeah, it can be so hard to stop, and that was incredibly reminiscent of that 0.1 second game-winning goal that we saw, well, at this point, it's about a month ago, and it's such a common face-off play, and as you can see, it's hard to defend against with how quick it happens, especially in that aggressive face-off. The Philadelphia defender was right in the face of, I believe that was Villapoica, who was taking that shot, and unfortunately, it still went through, hit off the post, so it's a tough break for Vesa Pompa. Perfectly executed, and unfortunate for them, didn't go in, didn't even count as a shot right there, as you see their registered shots at 0. That was their best chance of the period there, coming off of the set play, but down 1-0, Philadelphia kind of with everything in that period. They had it all. They were in complete control.
Again, Philadelphia second in the standings up to this point in the season. Vesa Pompa in third. So it really does show you the levels to the games here. Vesa Pompa having a tough time adapting through that first period. Obviously, going to look to step things up a little bit here in the second frame. Let's see if they can get things going here. Again, 1 goal is all they need to really get back into this one. See if they're able to do just that. The hit there, though, from Playmaker opens up the space. Good poke check by Sebbe Larsson to knock that one away. Potzloff not able to find any space once more. It's been Jurgeli, the green icon, for Vesa Pompa, who's been incredibly strong physically. One-timer and a big blocker save by Kape. Vesa Pompa here still in on the attack. Great job here on the forechecking pressure. Great movement and another blocker save by Kape. Great start here for Vesa Pompa, but Kape, after a pretty quiet first period, able to stand up to that challenge. Here comes Philadelphia down the other way. Playmaker takes the body. Vesa Pompa back in possession once more. Jurgeli gets away with that dangerous spin in his own zone, but again, we see it. Philadelphia controlling the neutral zone for the most part. Chip and chase here from Eki nearly works out. Good chop there to take that one away. Big interception by Playmaker. Pass, though, is off the mark on the follow-up. Chance now once more on the rush. Sebbe Larsson looking for a little bit of space. Nowhere to go through the double team pressure of Eki and Loimu. Now it's Playmaker in the zone. Opportunity to throw it in front. Doesn't find its way to its intended target, but they're still in possession. Playmaker now again finds Eki. Back to Playmaker. The one-timer goes just high and wide. May have clipped the iron. Great chances here on both sides. Jay Toro wins it back. Now it's Potzloff. Again, the quick give and goes to open up a little bit of space. The kick off the mark. Vesa Pompa back in possession, but not for long. Another intercept here. Can they at least get it out of their own zone? Alleviate some of this pressure. They do. It's Jurgeli. A couple of quick passes there. He ends up getting it back, but loses it in a set of skates. So, Sin, a much better start here for the opening 9 minutes or so for Vesa Pompa, although Philadelphia might not be down there. Potzloff nearly dragged that one away. But still, both teams, I'm actually kind of surprised to still see the 1-0 scoreline here.
Yeah, absolutely. Vesa Pompa with a couple good chances early on, and then Philadelphia got back into the zone and do what they do best, the cycle, the relentless pressure, not letting you out of the zone. I mean, it's kind of crazy. They forecheck while back-checking. It's really a sight to behold, and then, of course, the offensive chemistry, especially between Playmaker and Eki, really strong.
Big save there by FaZe, denying Loimu his second goal of the game. Again, Loimu coming into this game with 4 goals, which for a defender was good for being tied for third in the league amongst defensemen. Jay Toro on the other side with 6. in sole possession of first. So Sin talked about that a lot in the pregame, the offensive contributions of the defense pair here for Philadelphia, and we've already seen them add to those totals here in this game. Jay Toro finds playmaker directly on the line, tries to work his way through. Good layers in defense there, though, for Vesa Pompa. See the pressure once more, though. The big step up by Jay Toro. Not what Vesa Pompa was looking for on that play, Sin. Just kind of an unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah, and I mean, the aggressiveness coming out from Philadelphia's defensemen, it's easy to be aggressive as a defenseman when you have guys like Playmaker and Eki to cover you, and as good as they are with their, bodies and with the defensive skill sticks. That being said, it was a trip, and I didn't quite catch it there, but Philadelphia's going to be going onto the power play.
Tough break for Villapoika there. The first poke check just went straight to the skates. The second one did hit the target, but we'll see the power play here for Philadelphia. The draw there won once more by Ekin. They're not able to clear this one all the way out. Philadelphia still in on the attack. Playmaker down low. The Loyman shot, rebound off the side of the net for Potzloff. The back once more. Playmaker has it. Goes to Loimu. Again, the Playmaker shot on. Saved by FaZe. And still Philadelphia in possession. Jay Toro can't get that one on, but a good step up to win it back. Incredible movement here from Philadelphia. That shot doesn't find its way home. Not dumped out. Jay Toro keeps it in. Eki, backhand, glove save! Flashing the leather in space in a short-handed situation. What a job there, Sin. You see why he's been touted as an MVP candidate between the pipes.
Wow, I mean, just relentless pressure and an unreal job by everyone on Philadelphia to keep those pucks in. Going for a Hail Mary slap pass right there. Excellent chop by Yergely there to try to keep things alive, but now easy break-in for Philadelphia.
Down low for Playmaker. Has it low in the corner, has options. Finds Jay Toro, tried to get it short side, just wide wraparound bid for Mekki. Loose puck in the crease. Kicked out to the corner, though. Still Philadelphia in on the attack, although Yergely able to find it. Quick movement there, but an easy intercept for Jay Toro. The one thing, Sim, we pointed out as well, the face-off, so they'll hold on. Potzloff stepping in, poked away, shot off from Playmaker, doesn't go. Incredible that Philadelphia haven't found a second goal in this game. I was going to say that Ekin has the face-off advantage now, 6-5. Really hasn't helped Vesa Pompa get those offensive chances, Tim.
Yeah, and it's just because I really think, Philadelphia are hounds on the loose pucks and hounds to try to keep those pucks in. Very aggressive on the forecheck.
Here, though, for Yergely, goes between the legs, just not there. Villapoika nearly picking that one up. Final minute of play already here in the second period. Again, the first game of two between these two teams. Still a 1-0 lead for Philadelphia, but with time to change it. Final 10 seconds. Potzloff shot off the legs, and a chance once more. Yergely finds Villapoika. 3 seconds. Couple of dangles. Finds his way through. Backhand. Just off the mark. That would have been an incredible goal. Just not to beat. So a couple of chances there, Sin, early on in the second period for Vesa Pompa. But from there, especially due to that penalty from Villapoika, we saw Philadelphia take control and not really give it up for the rest of the period.
Yeah, and Vesa Pompa strong at the beginning, and then that big chance there at the end, sort of reminiscent of that first period when they had the set play off of the face-off. But for everything besides that, it really just seems to be Philadelphia's game. That power play was... Honestly, at times, my jaw just dropped just from the amount of aggression that was coming out from Philadelphia to keep those pucks in. Jay Toro put himself in perfect position to get that, bat the puck down animation to keep it alive off the clearing attempt. And it's just, that comes from hours and hours of playing this game, understanding where you need to be, hours of playing with the same people. Every time a defenseman moves in slightly, the forward immediately recognizes the situation. It's really impressive to watch, and you can see just how important chemistry is in this game with how long these guys have been playing together. You can't really put it past. It's really a huge thing in this game. And Vesa Pompa, the good news is they're only down by 1 here, but they got to put in a lot of work to get this game tied.
Absolutely. So here we go. We'll see what they can do. Before checking pressure, though, from Eki once again on point. Potzloff recovers along the half wall. Tried to hit Jay Toro, and a step here for Yergely. Loimu trying to chase him down. Opportunity on the shot. Just doesn't find the handle on it. Tried to pull backhand there. Was Ekin in front. A couple of dangerous moments there. But again, Philadelphia able to recover from a misstep. Chance here once more. Again, shut down in the neutral zone. It's been so difficult for Vesa Pompa to find their way through. It's really because of the ability of the defenders to step up, and there you see Potzloff covering in defense, but he gives up a step. Chance here down low in the corner, recovered once more by Potzloff. Tried to feed Playmaker on the big stretch pass. Again, Vesa Pompa just nowhere to go, Sin, forced to constantly throw it backwards, which is where they're getting into trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, just the aggression from Philadelphia. That's all you can say. They see the pass before it's coming, and they're right there to stop it. Unfortunate for Eki right there. He was offsides, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm, don't want to seem like I'm just hyping these guys up too much, but you're watching the same thing I am. It's really picture perfect execution from Philadelphia right now.
Absolutely. It's taking Vesa Pompa everything they have to try and stay in this. Person not able to hit the pass there. And again, it'll be another free possession, as we'll call it. Playmaker with the step. Can he get around the defender? The cutback. What a play. The pass just off the mark, though. Jay Toro turns it over one more time. The wingers for Vesa Pompa doing a much better job here as this game goes along. A little bit of space here. Poked away, though. Loimu has been fantastic in this game. Also has the lone goal. Eki back to Potzloff, who draws the trip. And Sim will see that Philadelphia power play go to work for the second time in this game. Again, Philadelphia special teams maybe not on point like you'd expect. Vesa Pompa actually have them beat in the special teams department. But again, you never want to give a team this dangerous, this many offensive chances.
No, absolutely not. And we're going to see it. The defensemen start out wide. Look how quickly they look to collapse to the circles.
And they do, but Jay Toro again has it poked away. Great job there by Villapoika to shut that one down. Pass once more over to Eki. Playmaker tries to pull it back across and sneak it home, but FaZe is there. Cover that one up. 1:17 remaining on the man advantage here for Philadelphia, trying to double up this lead. Down the faceoffs, 3 in a row for Potzloff. That streak ends. No better time. This one's going to be on net. Forces a save out of Kape to play that one out. Scary moment there. The Philadelphia goaltender, just I believe the third, maybe fourth registered shot for Vesa Pompa. Great movement here. Jay Toro back over for Eki. The defense again from Villapoika. He's really been a standout on this PK. Pass over, Playmaker. Potzloff on the backhand. The captain shovels it home, and Philadelphia finds that elusive second goal. 2-0 now for the Black and Orange.
Yep, really good job there. Again, great execution from Philadelphia. It wasn't the first chance. It wasn't even the second chance. It was that rebound chance. And Potzloff with that bigger build sitting right in front. The recipient of a juicy rebound right to his stick there. But I like the little delay that came out from Playmaker. He could have one-timed it, opted not to, skated to the middle a little bit to rip that shot. And, that maybe little delay made FaZe sort of hesitate and didn't quite get all the way over to the right, which left that open for Potzloff to sneak in on the rebound. Philadelphia up 2-0. It's hard to say with just a 2-goal lead that this one might be over, but the way Philadelphia is playing, errant pass right there from Vesa Pompa, it'll be very hard for them to get back into it. Philadelphia has just looked way too good.
8.5 minutes to play here in the third period. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams. Big hit there. Playmaker going to be down with an injury probably for the rest of this game. Eki banks one off the back of the net. Again, driving there. Potzloff not able to find a piece of that one. I should say, though, presumptuous on the injury. Looks like it, though, based off of the replay. A huge hit there. We've seen that physicality from Vesa Pompa, but of course, then easy to see that level of physicality when you don't have the puck all that often. Playmaker around the back tries to wrap around Eki with a chance to put that one home as well. Again, Eki short side just wide. See what happens here. Vesa Pompa trying to get something going. 6 minutes to play. You're not out of it. Crazier things have happened here. Villapoika shot on, another blocker save by Kape. Again, we've seen that from Vesa Pompa. They don't take a lot of shots. They rip one from the point. They rebound, and again, Kape able to make the save. Then they might want to start shooting glove side.
Yeah, I mean, he's making every save. That rebound was impressive.
And here, Villapoika, loose puck. Kape still there. They love to interrupt you, Sin. Never let you get a word in edgewise when the gameplay is going on. We'll see what Eki can do here. Adds a little bit of speed. Tries to slow things down to wait for the help. Just doesn't come. Good job there by Laymanens to shut that one down. It'll be an offside call with 3:03 remaining. Sin, you were saying before you were so rudely interrupted.
Well, I like what I'm seeing from Vesa Pompa. Maybe too little, too late. They're starting to, when they gain the zone, trying to take a shot, at least an open shot if it's available. And they got that rebound check. An excellent save by Kape on the follow-up. The patience and the positioning were on point right there to keep that puck out of the net. But yeah, I mean, as hard as it's been for Vesa to gain the zone, and as much as you want to keep it in there,
Villapoika denied again on the blocker side. In for Vesa Pompa, I'm sure we'll talk about it between games. Not exactly a lack of opportunities to score. Kape's had a great game. Deflection bin in the pads. Faze able to cover that one with 52 to go.
Yeah, maybe not the lack of opportunity, but the lack of time, and probably a lack of shots as well. And when you're in the situation like that, sometimes it's better just to rip shots on net and hope that you can get to those loose pucks or rebounds, or maybe just get lucky with a snipe.
Absolutely. So here we go. Final 45 seconds to play here. Turnover. Jay Toro just not able to bring that one all the way down. Playmaker has it here. A defender in front of him. Great job there by Sadie. Once more, shot that one down. It'll be another offside call with 34.9 to go. Again, Sin, crazier things have happened, but it seems highly unlikely for Vesa Pompa at this stage. The face-off does go their way, though. Jurgeli over to Villapoika, back for Jurgeli. The defense was there, a huge chance for Recken. Just doesn't find its way home. Another chance in the big stop by Kape. Great momentum here for Vesa Pompa. It just won't result in the goal. Has to be very frustrating for them at this point.
Yeah, and Jurgeli, I don't think he expected that puck to come to him that quickly. A little bit delayed on the shot, which I think allowed Kape that split second to get in position to stop it.
18 to go. Potzloff wins the draw. See what Ecky's able to do here. Playmaker with a little bit of space. Throws it back over for Ecky on the backhand. And a great save by Faze once more. Sin, I mean, both goaltenders, despite the scoreline, of course, have been phenomenal in this game. It's something, of course, that we'll talk about here between games in just a matter of moments. Again, don't go anywhere. Game 2 between these two teams coming up. Shot on. And another big stop there by Faze. And, of course, a little bit later on in this broadcast, again, once more, it will be Färjestad taking on Conquer Gaming. So we've still got a long way to go here in our first broadcast of 2021. Been a very interesting game here to kick things off. Philadelphia going to continue their winning ways with a win streak that's now up to 7 games. And Sin, the magic number is now 7. That is 7 shutouts for Kape between the pipes.
I mean, wow. Just a complete game performance from Philadelphia, but hats off to FaZe. He was pretty much under siege throughout most of the game, and on the flip side, hats off to Kape, because when he did face those shots, they were pretty high quality. Now you can kind of see why perhaps his save percentage is a bit lower than a guy like FaZe. It's not so much a skill thing. It's that, when he is seeing those shots, they're few and far between. They can be scary chances. It's debatable, especially for goaltenders. Would you rather be facing, constant action to keep you on your toes, or, the few and far between things? Sometimes it's better to face that constant action. There was no shortage of that against FaZe, who played as best as he could, but it was just Philadelphia just played a near perfect game. They executed their system to perfection. Vesa Pompa just had so much trouble keeping them out of their end, gaining the zone themselves, and sustaining any sort of pressure to give FaZe a break back there. And adjustments need to be made here going into the second game. I think, with the lack of, time on attack that they're able to get, maybe just better to start shooting those shots and look for those rebounds. Because when they do that in that third period, you could see their shot totals went up. They had, a bit more chances, even though they weren't, perhaps grade A all the time. It was, more pucks on net, more chances to beat Kape, and more chances for bounces. I mean, this is NHL. Bounces go in. You never know what happens.
Absolutely. So with that, again, Philadelphia take the first game of 2 by the score of 2-0. We have a lot more to talk about here to set the stage for this second game. We'll be back after a very brief word from our sponsor. It is Wilhelm.
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
See, I told you, a very, very brief break. We thank our sponsor in Wilhelm for helping present to you again ECL Elite Season 11. an unbelievable season so far. Can't wait, of course, to see how it goes. And, of course, we have more action coming up for you here in this broadcast. Now, Sin, 4 main talking points I think I came up with there towards the back half of the game that I wanted to discuss with you before we get into the second game. The first, now, it's something that we didn't have a chance to talk to them about, but you do have to wonder through the holiday break here just how much some of these teams or individuals actually played the game throughout that time. I mean, you need a break at some point for a reason. Some people subscribe to the motto, "Chell is life," and they get bullied for it, and rightfully so. But at the end of the day, you do need a break at that stage. Again, this is the first bit of action, if I'm not mistaken, since December 17th. Again, it's like, how much are these teams ultimately playing and getting these games in, and how that can affect their play?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a break is nice. You kind of reset, but you don't want to get too rusty there. So I think it's about finding that balance. In a team like Philadelphia, as long as they've been together, probably understand and know the kind of balance needed to stay on top of their game throughout breaks and offages and things like that.
Absolutely. Now, again, the other talking point here, we kind of mentioned him a lot. It is Kape, again, 7th shutout of the season. Both goaltenders on point. I think from that standpoint, not really much that you have to look to do. If you get that level of play from both goaltenders, they certainly always give their teams the opportunity to win. But, we talk about it as well. And there you see the numbers here, not updated from the last game. But again, now Kape up to 7 shutouts in a 13-1-1 record for somebody who, again, was expecting to be more of a utility player. And we've seen that elsewhere as well. You look at Havu and Hanselinho, his main rival, Kape's main rival in goal last season. He moved up to forward. Kape expected to get a little bit more time up front, but of course has locked down the crease there for Philadelphia. And it's really not a wonder as to why. But talking about the other 2 points in, and we'll kind of ball them up into one as we're just about ready to go. What's it going to take for Vesa Pompa here? Because we talked about, say, the faceoffs, for example, and they were just about even. I think a slight edge there for Potzloff. So, we thought, hey, you win the faceoffs for Vesa Pompa, you might have a pretty good shot. But still, we saw that suffocating style from Philadelphia. The Vesa Pompa, they had their chances. It could have easily been a different scoreline. Is it just a matter of execution on the chances that you do get?
A little bit of that, but it's also, I was trying to find, where's one place on the ice that Vesa Pompa really needed to improve. It's hard to say with just when Philadelphia was applying so much pressure in all 3 zones. Their defensemen were pinching in all 3 zones. They always had someone back to cover in that situation. And we saw from Vesa Pompa when they did gain that red line. Yeah, I'm talking about just gaining the neutral zone. They kind of had to slow things down, look for those precise, quick passes to get into the zone, which is all well and good. But with the aggression coming out from Philadelphia, can also lead to not too many chances. So I'm curious to see if they're going to pull out the dump and chase. We have seen that. We have seen them apply that a few times throughout the course of their play here in the ECL. I'm curious to see if they're gonna try that out here against a team like Philadelphia. Or one thing I noticed, Jay Toro using a smaller puck mover than normal if they're afraid of that, the speed of that build, just getting back to retrieve those constantly and just stopping it in the tracks. I mean, Vesa Pompa in a tough situation. Again, it's hard to find a hole in any zone of play from Philadelphia.
Absolutely. So here we go. Game 2 underway. Philadelphia in on the attack early on. Great opportunity there. Nearly found playmaker on the backdoor pass. Again, Philadelphia in the white and orange. And you have Vesa Pompa in the black and gold, as we will call it. And again, Philadelphia quickly back in on the attack. A 2-0 victory in that first game between the two. An errant pass there. They tried to find Potzloff up top. We'll see what Vesa Pompa are able to do and how they're able to respond. It's been a great season for them so far. But talking about the opportunity that was in front of them here to prove, and it's something that so many teams have struggled to do. You have a lot of hope and optimism. You're towards the top half of the standings, but then you run into the Philadelphia or Havu buzzsaw. And it can be a little bit demoralizing. And here's Eki quickly in on the counterattack. With a great bit of defense there by Mr. Seven Larson one more time. Great movement here through the neutral zone as well. They need more of that. Villapoika breaking out the handles. The loose puck is recovered, though, by Eki once more. Sim, we've seen that a couple of times now. Vesa Pompa, particularly Villapoika, just willing to throw dangles out there, see what happens, and see if that's how he's going to be able to create space.
Yeah, and it's almost worked a number of times. And one time it did kind of work with a backhand chance in last game that just kind of skittered wide. It was at the end of the second, and Kape was actually sliding in the wrong direction. So, yeah, take the chances you can get. Another dangle into the zone. That's taking advantage of the aggression of Philadelphia.
Shot on. Rebound was there. Rebound off a leg, I should say. The deflection there. Great opportunity for Villapoika. Again, once more, still just unable to find the back of the net. And even the lucky breaks where you get a different look than what you were expecting, just not finding their way to the back of the net for Vesa Pompa so far.
Yeah, a few posts, a few that have just gone wide, a few deflections that just didn't go your way. At this point, you're like, come on, just give me something, game. Give me some bounce to go our way and help us out.
Villapoika once more able to survive the double team pressure there. Trouble along the half wall. Loimu, despite that smaller build, so physical. And that's why we see so many people use the puck-moving defenseman or even the playmaker up top. Sin is, you look at someone like Potzloff, again, the center for Philadelphia. Is a big save there by Kape to still keep Vesa Pompa off the board. You see these smaller builds, but somehow, some way, the physicality is there, the defensive ability is there, and then, of course, the offensive ability as the builds intend. Yeah, definitely, and as we're seeing here, more aggression from Philadelphia coming out. They're not stopping. It is absolutely insane. Vesa Pompa really hard pressed to get out of their zone. But yeah, you said it. I mean, the physicality, that's why the puck mover is so important. Good move there to free up Jurgeli. He has a step, tried to go back across, but Loimu takes it away. Vesa Pompa still in the zone. Ekin down low once more for Jurgeli, trying to get some sort of a cycle going. But look at the pressure from Loimu on defense. Vesa Pompa still have it. They hold it at the line. Slap shot blocked down in front by Potzloff. Sim, we've seen that a few times. Chances for Vesa Pompa quickly going away. The recovery ability on defense from Philadelphia is top-notch. Eki, playmaker, recovers it, and he scores. Philadelphia strikes first. Playmaker finding the back of the net off a broken play. It doesn't go Vesa Pompa's way, Sim, but it does go Philadelphia's way. Yeah, and you just, began the point that I was going to make. That is kind of a broken play because it was a shot, but it all comes down to the excellent timing of Philadelphia. Playmaker cutting to the net, being an option for a pass or looking for the rebound, and because the puck kind of bounced, it went right to him, and he had a one-on-one chance with the goaltender, and that's why, broken plays can work, but only, and they work a higher percentage of the time if you're on point with your timing and going to the net at the right times. We saw right there from Playmaker getting his 15th goal of the season, I believe. And now trying to keep up to that goal a game pace. Shot on rebound, nearly banked in. Jay Toro trying to bank it off the back, has another chance, goes back up to the point, taken away once more. A step for Villapoika. He has the speed, jump, dekes it home. Vesa Pompa find the back of the net. Sin, it took a couple of opportunities, but finally they made Philadelphia pay for the mistake towards the blue line. Yep, and that's the only downfall of aggressive D. Sometimes it'll pay off just a perfectly timed jump deke in Kape trying the flying poke check, which would have been a great idea with the amount of speed that Villapoika had to do to stay away from that fast puck mover of Loimu, and he's able to capitalize on it. I don't know if we've ever seen a jump deke go in the way that did, but it was pretty amazing. Luis Mendoza style, crashing into the net and scoring, and tie game right now. Great job from Villapoika and Vesa Pompa to get this game tied, give themselves a fighting chance. That being said, Philadelphia on the attack once again. A spectacular goal from Villapoika, his 8th of the season. Vesa Pompa tied this one up at 1 apiece. A chance here, another bit of space. Villapoika once more. Loimu's there between the legs, recovered by Jurgeli, but again, Philadelphia there in layers. Final minute of this first period here. We are tied at 1. The Playmaker finding the opening goal for Philadelphia. Villapoika responds in kind. Trouble here at the blue line for Recchi. 5 seconds to go here. Jay Toro tries to throw it on. Potzloff was there. Loose on the doorstep. It doesn't go. Sin, very close call there for Vesa Pompa at the end, but they do find that ever-elusive goal and tie this one up at 1 apiece. Yeah, and it was, that's what Vesa Pompa's going to have to do, capitalize on the chances they get. We now understand they're going to be few and far between, so you really have to make them count. And Villapoika taking matters into his own hands, pulling out all the dangles and getting rewarded with a goal. And on that second one, it was a great move. It was
almost like a bit is like a 2-on-1.5 almost with Jurgeli as a trailer. He tried that, off the skate deke, and it didn't quite work, but Jurgeli picked it up for a split second, just couldn't get the shot away, but that would have been another good chance, and with 2 men down low, as Vesa Pompa would have had a chance for a rebound as well if Kape didn't swallow it up. Unfortunately for them, it came off of his stick, and it was able to be picked back up by Philadelphia, but you're seeing here a bit closer in the time on attack this time from Vesa Pompa, and that comes from the adjustments made specifically to adjust to the aggressiveness coming out from Philadelphia. They're trying to, pinpoint those point-to-point passes or the passes back to the point to try to jump on them and, really kind of screw over the defense of Philadelphia right there, which you can do with the strong pokes and the defensive skill stick. And we've seen them a couple chances, one on that breakaway that led to the goal, another one that led to an extended attack in their zone. And that's why I think Villapoika and Jurgeli, and to be honest, Ekin too at times, pulling out those dekes to capitalize on the aggressiveness and the hitting that comes out from J Toro and Loimu.
Second period underway here, again tied at 1 apiece. Brutal turnover there by Potzloff though. Jurgeli snipes it home. What a goal! Vesa Pompa grabs the lead. Sin, an uncharacteristic mistake from the Philadelphia captain.
Yeah, you know what? We saw that a bit earlier in the first game too, an intercepted pass. Nothing really happened of it. Maybe he just didn't feel like he charged it up as much as he needed to, but that one right there, a bit of an unforced error, and Jurgeli making no mistake to Vesa Pompa throwing a bit of Philadelphia's medicine right back at him. A strong forecheck, a turnover forced in the zone, and a quick strike off the back of it. Vesa Pompa taking the lead here. Now Philadelphia are really going to have to try to open things up, which can honestly open more doors for Vesa Pompa on the counterattack.
A fantastic goal for Jurgeli, his 12th of the season. Vesa Pompa now up 2-1 in this game. The shot there, it's easy almost to forget the playmaker goal. Great pressure there. Of course, 2-0 to score line of that first game in favor of Philadelphia, so we really see how Vesa Pompa have been able to turn this on and make the most of the opportunities in front of them. Philadelphia, especially on the second goal, but maybe even the first one, might view it as self-inflicted wounds, some sloppy play, leading to Vesa Pompa getting the goals, but regardless, you can't take it away from Vesa Pompa. You have to be able to make the most of those chances, and they've done just that. We approach the first 5 minutes being gone here of this second frame. The low cycle, Potzloff not able to shovel that one on. Eki has it again, the backhand on net. Again, Faye is able to steer that one wide. Chance here again for Vesa Pompa. Jurgeli breaks through. Tried to jump deke again, but it was poked away. Tried to see if he could do what Villapoika did earlier with that phenomenal goal. The Crosby bank off the back of the net just doesn't pay off on the follow-up pass. But Sin, look at this. Vesa Pompa really stepping up that offensive heat.
Yeah, the aggressiveness is really working to their benefit because they know Philadelphia is going to be aggressive.
Here's Jurgeli one more time. Goes all the way around. Tried to throw it back in front. Thought we might see the wraparound. You got to respect that, though. Instead of just trying to force it in front when he knew the collapse was there, he did well. As again, playmaker just not able to find Potzloff in front. Much better showing here, Sin, from Vesa Pompa. They almost had a little bit of space there for Reckon beyond the defense. Chance again now thrown across through the neutral zone here. Philadelphia not afraid to take their time despite trailing. And Vesa Pompa looking a little bit more confident in the neutral zone, of course, now that they have the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing with a lead is always a lot easier than playing from behind. Great tie-up right here. We'll see if they can get that puck out.
Still, playmaker somehow holds on to it. Here's Potzloff. Back to the winger. Playmaker again. Bumped off the puck at the last second. J Toro trying to maintain it and does. Get it all the way down. The good cycle. There's going to be a fight prompt there. I thought there might be a follow-up penalty. Normally there is. Not on that occasion. Vesa Pompa in the zone. Again, Jurgeli, Villapoika, the shot taken to the chest, and Kape able to make the save. 6:37 to go here in a very competitive second game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing the result of that fight prompt. Maybe an injury down low, a massive hit. But I like what I'm seeing from Philadelphia. They aren't quite panicking yet, but they know they have to up the intensity at some point. But they're taking their time with it, trusting in their system for the most part here, which is exactly what you need to do because the goals coming out from Vesa Pompa have been majority by mistakes from Philadelphia when they rush things. So we're seeing an interesting chess match of both of these teams making the proper adjustments to keep themselves in the game.
There's patience on display here for Philadelphia in the neutral zone, now in the offensive zone. On the attack, and a backhand from Eki. Goes just wide. Loose puck again recovered by Loimu. Has some options, throws it on. Loose puck still there. Potsdam can't throw it on. Again, the shot from the point. Backhand on. Playmaker the stop. What an effort from FaZe here. And for Vesa Pompa to try and maintain this lead. 3 minutes to go now here in the second period. Again, a battle of two of the best goaltenders in this league, in the competitive sixes scene. Again, regardless what continent you might be on. And a good bit of defense there on the blue line, but a loose puck is recovered. Loimu may have hit the post. 1:20 to go. Philadelphia trying to find the tying goal here before we get to the third period. Eki has a little bit of trouble, still fighting for it down low. Loose puck is recovered. 28 seconds to play here. Vesa Pompa trying to get in on the attack. They won't be able to do so. Eki one more time, 5 seconds, throws it to himself. Back in front, doesn't go. And Sin, that'll bring us to the end of the second period. What a pace we have had here in the second game between these two teams.
Absolutely. All I could say is I want to see a playoff matchup between these two teams. I know it's still premature, but my goodness, what a matchup this has becoming. I mean, the first game, it was really Philadelphia's game. They kind of, came out, they played their way, but Vesa Pompa, as we've seen throughout them, they are one of the better teams at making the proper adjustments. You alluded to it a bit in the beginning. This can be, a bit of a reality check for teams right here. Now, if they come and win this game, they'll get two things out of this set. They'll get that humbling experience in game one, being like, okay, we're at the top here, but this is one of the teams to beat, and we had a lot of trouble with them. But here they're making adjustments and giving Philadelphia a very big run for their money, very competitive. They had the lead for them. If they're able to hold on and win this game, it'll almost be best case scenario. I know they only get, will only get the 2 out of the 4 points, but you learned a valuable lesson, and, if you get 2 points because of it as well, it's pretty much the best of both worlds, obviously, without getting the 3 or 4 points here. Philadelphia still in this game, obviously. They're always in every game, as we've seen historically, but 1 goal behind. They're getting the majority of the chances, the time on attack. They're still very dangerous, but Vesa Pompa has shown that they can be just as dangerous with limited chances, limited time on attack, but their counterattack has looked exceptionally strong.
Here's Eki to start things off. Throws one off the pads of FaZe. Again, a 2-0 win for Philadelphia in that first game. A very close competitive chance here, Eki. Just not able to find the back of the net. FaZe has been phenomenal. Chance here once more, thrown all the way down. No icing, of course, on the play. Playmaker able to recover, trying to fend off Yergely, and does. See again, Philadelphia can get anything going, but this one is going to go down for icing despite a very close race. Tim, we've talked about the face-offs. Very close. Big chance here for Reckon to maybe get something going for Vesa Pompa.
Yeah, absolutely, and he needs an important offensive zone face-off win. If anything else, at least get possession for your team.
They have it. Yergely, the point-blank slap shot. Tried to catch Kape moving, maybe forced the rebound, but the goaltender stands tall.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a very viable strategy. Get in and tight and taking the slap shots. You could really pick corners with that in NHL 21.
Get another crucial face-off. The Kape's right. This one clean by Potsdam. See if they can get that quick breakout. Great movement there. Intercepted, though, by Villapoika. Tries to defend and can't. There's Loimu again. And you saw a very, we'll say liberal with the stick there. Surprised there wasn't a penalty. See a big save there by FaZe on the back side. And again, one more time, the opportunity for Eki just doesn't go. Another turnover here. Eki has it once more. Back up to Loimu at the point. Quick D-to-D pass. Good cycle work again from Philadelphia. They love to work it from down low. Potsdam tries it from an odd angle. Doesn't go. Still maintained. Thrown in front. Loose puck again. Tremendous pressure here from Philadelphia. Playmaker. Potsdam throws it wide on an open net. And a shot on again by Playmaker. Doesn't go. Then surprising again to this point that we haven't seen Philadelphia score.
Yeah, I mean, and you could say that at moments in the first one, too. Shots just going wide. Lady Luck not quite on the side of Philadelphia. And I'm having a bit of a freeze over here.
Maybe not. Here we go. It's going to be another face-off. So we apologize for the technical difficulties there on that bit of a freeze. Hopefully that'll be able to clear up here. We have yet another offensive zone draw situation for Philadelphia. We see Potsdam starting to pull away in the face-off numbers, and it's making a difference here. And we apologize for any technical difficulties. The scramble in front is recovered. by Vesa Pompa, but Sin not what they needed. It's going to be an icing call here. And another great chance for Philadelphia, really threatening to tie this game up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I won't say abandoned those high quality chances, but they're going for a lot more jam plays, which is exactly what you need to do if you're in Philadelphia's shoes. They scored on a rebound earlier. You saw, Patzloff almost tucking one home, just a little bit wide, but Philadelphia needs to continue that, make the most out of their chances.
Ekin along the half wall here. It goes down low. Jurgeli back to his centerman, trying to hold on to it. Good patience on display. Goes back to the D. Eki trying to pinch up there on the far side. Wasn't able to get it. Ekin has it down low and again throws it back across. Big hit there. Philadelphia survive. Eki has it once more. He's been all over the place in this one. Good bit of pressure there on the back check. Stebby Larson able to shut that one down. Stretch pass. Villapoika breakaway. Denied. Kape the big kick save. Chance on the other end. Eki has somebody with him. Step backhand denied by FaZe. Amazing end-to-end action here between these two teams. Both goaltenders coming up big with 7 minutes to play. Philadelphia able to regain the zone. Shot on by Eki is covered up by FaZe. Sin, a fantastic stretch of plays there in the back half of this third period, as we'll probably see the double timeouts. But what a display, regardless of how these results go from these two goaltenders.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from breakaway to breakaway, excellent read by Eki, understanding not only that the puck was loose, but was going to be recovered for his team, getting himself up the ice, but a great recovery by Lehmanens to sort of cut off the angle, really limit the opportunity that Eki had, and it was read perfectly by FaZe. But on that breakaway, what a saucer pass to spring Villapoika, and an excellent job by Kape, just sticking with him and getting that pad save. I mean, just back and forth action, really opening up here in the third period. Makes for some excellent and entertaining hockey.
Turnover here at a very crucial time. 6 minutes to go in regulation. Big step up by Loimu trying to fend off Larson, and he does. Wins it back. Jay Toro not able to get the pass in front, but Philadelphia getting that stranglehold offensively. Chance here off the good cycle movement. Loimu looking, slap shot, and a big glove save by FaZe through the traffic. The MVP chance being heard from the home crowd, I've been told.
Yeah, absolutely. He is doing his part to keep his team in it with that 1-goal lead, but Philadelphia going to throw everything at them right now in the last 5 minutes.
Covered by Villapoika, at least gets it back to the neutral zone. Time winding down very fast now for Philadelphia. Have Vesa Pompa done enough? The turnover here, Patzloff, chance poked away at the last moment. Larson with a little bit of trouble there. You see the pressure, the fight along the boards. Jay Toro can't pull it back to the forehand. Still fighting for it. Gets it down low for Playmaker. Again to the point. Shot on. Loose puck again. Buried it. Eki finds it. Sin, we said it. He's been all over the place. And at that point in time, it was the right place at the right time. Eki ties this one. Vesa Pompa not able to hold on. We're tied at 2.
And you can see just how much the aggression from Philadelphia can pay off, keeping the puck in, just keeping it alive as much as possible, everyone being where they need to be, and then converging on the net when they get the puck toward it. You saw it. I believe that was Patzloff and Eki on the doorstep. Eki's the one that picked that loose puck up and put it home. Tough break for Vesa Pompa here, but I mean, you can only hold on for so long at times against a team as good as Philadelphia. And when they're desperate like that and on their A game, it is a deadly combination that Vesa Pompa just discovered right there.
Here's Eki once more down low in the corner. Final minute and a half here of regulation. Philadelphia looking to steal this one. Eki tried the wraparound in front, didn't quite go. Let's see what Vesa Pompa can do on the other side. Ekin down low, tried to feed it across. Jurgeli looking for Villapoika. Just not able to find its way home. And poked away one more time. Stebby Larson back over to Lehmanens. Defense partner tries to find the stretch pass to Jurgeli. Great job by Philadelphia once more. 40 seconds to play off the turnover. Jurgeli pokes it too far ahead. Chance here, though. Saved by Kape, denying Ekin. One more time here, though. Jurgeli still has it. What a chance that just went to the wayside. Villapoika to the point one time around and another stop. Great response from Vesa Pompa. Still tied at 2. Here's Philadelphia now. Eki around the back for Playmaker. Goes back to the point one more time. Quick D-to-D pass. Shot on by Jay Toro. Deflects off the traffic in front. 11 seconds to go here. Biggest face-off of the game. And hopefully, again, not much of a Frame spike there, we look to be good to go. Big draw, one clean, set play, shot wide. Still fighting for it, 6 seconds to play, plenty of time to win it. Vesa Pompa will send this one out. So Sin, at the very least, a point earned for Vesa Pompa. That second point, that oh so important second point, will be up for grabs here. Philadelphia still have the chance to take all 4 points, or to walk away, I should say, with 4 points out of this one. And again, some big moments there. Not surprised that we're going to overtime in this one. What a game this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious if maybe Jurgeli got a new controller for Christmas. He's had a couple opportunities of where he could have got breakaways, and his self-sauce both times was just a little off, and it went a little too far. I mean, that one was the most heartbreaking. He really could have had an excellent chance against Kopp. It would have been hard for the defense of Philadelphia to cut off the angle, but unfortunately just went too far. He didn't quite have enough stamina to get up to it as quick either. So that's a heartbreaking moment for Vesa Pompa, with a chance to take the lead back in the dying moments of the third period. But Philadelphia showed why they are one of the top teams and have been for so long. They are never, ever out of the game. And when you only have to make up one goal, it's very easy. 16 registered shots, all that time on attack. I feel like 8 minutes or something like that, 7 or 8 minutes. Pretty impressive from Philadelphia. And Vesa Pompa did the best they could to kind of hold on. But when you're in survival mode against a team as aggressive and as good as Philadelphia, you got to think eventually one of those might go in, but they can still salvage, just get the extra point. They do have one, but you want to get at least 2 out of this matchup.
Pays for Playmaker on the off wing. Around the back to Eki. Again, they have it right where they want to. Potzloff on the near side. Eki a chance, tried to shovel it home. That one doesn't go either. And we talked about it. You saw the difference in the stats there between the end of the second and the end of the third. Vesa Pompa invited the pressure, tried to hold on. Very difficult to do against a team of this caliber. And former champions in their own right, Philadelphia. Again, an extra point up for grabs here. Will it be a perfect 4-point night for Philadelphia towards the top half of the standings? Of course, big kick save there. FaZe has something to say about that. Said, though, at the very least, we talked about it a lot. These teams that are looking to step up to prove they can hang with the team caliber of Philadelphia, I think Vesa Pompa, even if they were to lose both games here, have shown that they have that fight in them to battle back. Whether or not they'll be able to build upon it here down, again, the back stretch of this regular season. Chance now here once more of Vesa Pompa trying to get something going. They've been so dangerous on the counterattack. Nothing doing there, though. Philadelphia back in possession once more. Playmaker has it along the half wall, has options, goes in front to Eki. Just not able to find the back of the net on that attempt. He does have the game-tying goal, however. Vesa Pompa again trying to get a smooth breakout going, just not able to do it. Loimu has it. Numbers here. Breakaway. Playmaker scores! Philadelphia get that oh-so-important 4th point in their attempt to dethrone Havu atop the standings. Vesa Pompa, a disappointing end. But at the end of the day, Sin, what a play to win it there. Loimu, oh so impressive on the night. Stepped up, gets the contact, finds Playmaker. We said for Playmaker, look for him to step up and really up that goal-scoring total. He gets the game winner here in overtime.
Yeah, and 2 in the series total, I believe. And yeah, again, it's the aggressiveness from Philadelphia, and oftentimes it's Jay Toro and Loimu creating those plays. And honestly, it can be unexpected at times to see defensemen stepping up and being that aggressive at the blue line. If you miss, it can be a recipe for disaster in normal circumstances. But Philadelphia, far from a normal team. This is the elite of the elite. Playmaker and Eki so good getting back and covering, even Potzloff, and that allows Loimu and Jay Toro to really be aggressive, as we saw right there. Leads to the game winner with Loimu forcing that turnover, finding Playmaker, and make just the patience and the perfect move right there to beat FaZe. And that's a heartbreaker for Vesa Pompa. I feel a bit guilty talking about, them perhaps winning early on. The caster curse is alive and real. But yeah, they really came out strong. They had a good showing early on. They got in the lead, but then Philadelphia just kicked it up that extra gear, and Vesa Pompa didn't quite have an answer.
The difference, perhaps, between title contenders and perennial championship caliber teams. A lot to talk about here, of course, but we'll try to get to all of that on the back half, because, of course, we have 2 more games to go coming up here on the back half of this break. Again, Philadelphia walking away with 4 crucial points en route to trying to secure that number 1 seed over our defending champions in Havu. After the break, again, Conquer Gaming and Färjestad go head-to-head towards the bottom half of the playoff picture. Some valuable points up for grabs there, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments. Stick with us.
Mukana matseissa ja kotikatsomoissa. Wilhelm Snacksit. Parasta purtavaa kauden kovimpiin koitoksiin. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana. Wilhelm Snacksit.
And we are back again. Welcome, everybody. It's Monday. You know what that means. ECL Elite Division action here on NHL Gamer. My name, of course, is Tugi. Joined, as always, by my broadcast partner, Sin. And, of course, we just got done watching 2 very close and competitive games between 2 of the best that this division has to offer. 2 more interesting games coming up here between Färjestad and Conquer Gaming. Again, 2 teams right now on the outside looking in Färjestad's case, on tiebreaker on the outside, looking in of the playoff situation. As you get a look at the standings here, I believe that we had heading into, actually, no, these are updated standings because Vesa have had themselves an interesting little day there, jumping up in the standings. So some updated numbers there. Of course, Philadelphia now on top. We'll see what Havu Gaming are able to do in response. Again, our defending champions. Those 2 met in last year's final and the final before that, but who's counting? Of course, again, Färjestad and Conquer Gaming, the focus right now. And Sin, as we talked about, you see there, bottom left-hand side, of course, left side of the bracket is where you want to be. Kova Esports on 16 points, Conquer on 10, not exactly out of the playoff situation if you are able to string together some very important wins.
Yeah, and none more important right now than going up against Färjestad, who have really upped their defensive game. But again, we've mentioned it every time we've covered them, their offense not quite what it used to be. You know, they're kind of seeming to try to figure out how to get the best of both worlds. And right now, you know, as you mentioned, on the outside looking in, trying to get, you know, just kick themselves a little bit more to get back into the playoffs. We thought, you know, maybe at the beginning of the year with how good their defense was looking, they'd really, you know, be challenging for one of those upper spots, but they just haven't been able to get the same offensive production. A good chance for them as well to maybe find that against Conquer here, who is, you know, one of the teams lower in the standings. But again, if they just have a strong showing, right back in the running. It's so tight, everyone from 4 and beyond. I mean, even the very, very, you know, bottom at times and not even completely out of it.
Absolutely. So with that, a look at the latest results here that we have around the league before we get into the individual breakdowns here. And again, as we have seen, Vesa in action, picking up 3 out of 4 points against Roots Gaming, en route to a good day for them. Kova Esports picking up a big win there over H-Reds, getting 3 points. That is huge for their season as well. So again, some very interesting results around the league. NHLgamer.com for all of that information, of course, that you need to follow along here with the Elite Division. Of course, the 3 other tiers as well that we have under the ECL system. Of course, there's an article up there as well detailing the changes that are coming to the division structures for next season. Of course, bigger and better things at all times as we continue to move forward here and progress at NHL Gamer. So again, NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. And of course, I'll look at some of those beautiful wallpapers that you've seen advertised here as well. I know you want to rep your favorite team. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you do it? It would make you a good person. Just because the holidays are over doesn't mean you lose the holiday spirit. I mean, you might, but hey, what am I to say? Sin, with that, again, a very interesting matchup that we have here in Conquer Gaming and Färjestad. Let's get everybody a look at the team matchups here, some of the stats and the results so far this season. Again, offensively between these two teams, very close. It's the defensive difference right here, Sin, that's really going to make a difference in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, alluded to it a bit in the pregame. Färjestad has really upped their defensive game. And it's, as we mentioned, they have faltered a bit offensively, but they still have that quick strike capability. And right now they're going up against a team who has, for the most part, struggled defensively. 44 goals against. Pretty high up there. If I'm looking at they're tied for 14th, which is actually ironic. Färjestad tied for 14th in offense. So kind of a, battle of the opposites here. But again, what's even more impressive to me is Färjestad still perfect on the penalty kill.
Absolutely. And again, we'll talk about that more as we go through the breakdown, the change that Färjestad have had. We've had the luxury to be able to call quite a few of their games this season. They have really gone from more of an offensive team to more of a defensive team. And you see it there in the change of numbers. Thing to note as well for Färjestad here, out of the 8 teams left on their schedule, only 2 are in the top 4 and 5 are currently outside of the playoff structure. So we talked about it for Conquer Gaming and what this series could mean to get them back into the playoff hunt. Färjestad, they are on easy street. They have no excuse, in theory, to miss the playoffs at this stage. And we'll see now after the holiday break and with these first 2 games here, if they're able to really get that momentum going again, as we've seen at different points in the season. With that, though, let's get you to the lineups for this game. As again, for Färjestad, we have Afe, Malin, and Antonio Manamana up top. On defense, it's Furian and Arubatas. In between the pipes, of course, our boy, as he's been labeled, it is McSaven between the pipes there. On the flip side, for Conquer Gaming, we have Viltsa, Yurtsik, and the rookie in Titanov. Kapako and Talonmi is on defense. Uresti between the pipes there for Conquer. And again, a lot of interesting players to talk about here in these matchups. So we'll get right down to business with the Battle of the Centers. And Sin, some certain stats here that would certainly stand out between the former Misa, Malin now for Färjestad, and Yurtsik on the other side. But what stands out to you the most?
Well, for me, it's the aggression that comes out of Malin. He's second in penalty minutes in the league, but 14 out of the 16 he have come in the last 5 games. Now, it seems like maybe a bit of frustration as, Färjestad tries to get the offense going, trying to get those, the transition game, which they're so good at going, and a few extra turnovers from Malin right there. He is their center. Very comparable faceoff percentage between him and Yurtsik, so he's really going to have to watch his discipline here and stay out of the box. Even though Färjestad have the tremendous penalty kill they have, you don't want to test it too much.
Absolutely. Again, for Malin now, because of this unbelievable run of form, 14 penalty minutes in his last 5 games, as mentioned, now second in the league in penalties taken. Certainly not going to look to keep that aspect of his form from before the holiday break. We move things over to the Battle of the Wingers. For Färjestad, it is Afe and Antonio Mannin. And, of course, on the flip side for Conquer Gaming, we have Viltsa and, again, the rookie Titanov. And, Sin, again, we talk about it for Färjestad a lot. The 2 faster builds for Färjestad. Afe made an incredible name for himself last season, especially in the playoffs. Antonio jumping up from defense to wing and using that smaller build has really helped contribute to their improvements as a defensive team. And then on the flip side for Conquer Gaming, this is the second time we've seen them here in one of these primetime broadcasts. Impressed by Titanov so far as a rookie. And again, I'm going to call it out, looking for him to have a big day as well. You might want to speak to Viltsa so he doesn't feel left out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just what I like from him is he's leading his team in hits and takeaways. As a winger, that's less heard of. So watch for him to be one of the, the strong forechecking presence. I'm not going to go out and say he's got to be an Eki or he's got to be a Flyer Kungen, but it's very important to have a winger who can forecheck very hard, throw different looks at your opponent, and especially with a team like Färjestad, who are more on the defensive side of things right now, try to keep them that way and keep them on their toes. Or on their heels.
Absolutely. Either or really
yeah.
works out if you think about it. Of course, as well with Antonio, again, we talked about it, jumping up from defense to wing, coming over from the recently seen Vesa Pompa squad. Looking now at the defense, and again, this kind of continues that trend, Sin, that we saw. You talked about it, the roster shakeup mania, whatever you want to call it, from the beginning of the season. Some new players in this lineup, some, of course, departures as well. And Furion on defense, one of those new arrivals. And so far, so good as well. 10 points in 14 games alongside Arubitus. And, of course, on the flip side, it is Kapako and Talonmies, who, of course, you pointed out before, a very strong goal-scoring defenseman up to this point of the season.
Yeah, was tied for third going into the day. I think he got surpassed when I believe it was Lehmanen scored his goal. I think that's who it was. I'm getting it all mixed up here. Whatever. We're past that matchup. I'm already on to this one. But yeah, very strong goal scorer. And it's not often you'll see a defenseman with more goals than assists, but that's what he's working with right here. Curious to see if he's able to keep that up, and curious to see how that'll fit in to the offensive scheme from Conquer and what it'll be like going against the defensive scheme of Färjestad.
One thing Talonmies will not want to keep up leading his team in terms of giveaways. He's going to want to clean it up a little bit, but when you're a more offensive defenseman, that is bound to happen. Last but certainly not least, the battle of the goaltenders, the men in the blue paint. Here it is McSavid and Uresti. Two very strong goaltenders, despite the, 500 record, of course, for McSavid at this point, and Uresti, the sub-500 save percentage. But two guys, again, who give their teams opportunities to win every time they're out there. So,
yeah, absolutely. And, McSavid has that, sort of swagger that we've seen, especially with the name change. He's always kind of have that, really living up to it. And coming into his own here as Färjestad have kind of noticed what they had in a guy like McSavid, transitioning to a more defensive style. And McSavid has just really seemed to be flourishing in a super strong performance, as we saw out of him in the playoffs last year. And Uresti, no slouch either. He's, not exactly where he wants to be save percentage wise or goals against wise, but again, Conquer as it takes 5 men to play defense, and they're really going to have to step it up here to help out Uresti.
Absolutely. So again, just a few moments away from puck drop, the first game of 2 between these two teams, easy for me to say. Excited to see how this plays out. Of course, before we get to the action, though, as always, we have our 3 keys to success. We're going to start things off with Färjestad and what they need to look to do. And send, a little bit too much salt. That's not to say, of course, that, they're not the biggest fans of losing. But again, the big story of this season has been their transition from a more offensive team to a more defensive team. They have 4 goals in their last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken. They put just a little bit too much on that transition. They've certainly improved the defense. You got to find that offensive touch again. If you keep up that defensive consistency, find that offensive touch, they're going to find themselves back in the postseason and better, of course, than the 8th seed. And then, of course, how the mighty have Mullen. That is the worst pun I think I've made on any of these broadcasts.
I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, in the last 5 games, he's committed 14 of his 16 penalty minutes, as we've talked about. Fortunately, FBK, Sin, as you mentioned, have a fantastic penalty kill. They've killed off every single one of those pens, but you're not going to win when your center's in the box that frequently. And then, Sin, you might disagree, all things considered. You might possibly disagree, all things considered here. But excited to see how this one plays out in terms of the idea of really, making it just a little bit boring. All things considered here once more, again, across the game style. Technical difficulties. They happen sometimes. Technical difficulties. They happen sometimes. Technical difficulties. You never quite know when they're gonna strike. Yeah, technical difficulties. You never quite know when they're gonna hit. Yeah. Never quite know when they're gonna strike. Yeah. Oh, error, could not start video source. I don't know. I don't know if my mic is hot or not. I hope it is, because I have a wonderful singing voice. Oh, good. Well, hello, everybody who's still here. We're working it out. Don't worry about it. No, we don't at all. We're going to make it work, though. We're going to make it work. It's one of those things. You know, it's one of those things. We're going to make it work. I might just keep singing. I'm still in the holiday spirit. Hey, what are you going to do? We're going to make it work. I'm good. I'll keep singing. Hey, no, everybody. We're good. We're good. Don't worry. You know, here's one of the things that happen every once in a while, people. To our wonderful producer, can you put us back up on screen for a second here? Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Number one, yes, I know, amazing singing voice. How dare they have taken down Twitch Sings? Secondly, these things happen on occasion. What are you going to do? Technical difficulties. First stream back for this part of the season and getting 2021 started off on a high note. Sin, is there a third point here? I don't think there's a third point here. Let's see here. Are we just about ready for action, or do we have a chance to get back to the keys? We're going back to the keys, baby. Färjestad. Bring us to the Färjestad keys. Not the Conquer keys, the Färjestad keys. Everything's falling apart. Oh, God, 2021. It's striking already. Anyway, again, for Färjestad here. Mullen, stay out of the goddamn box. And the third point is to make it a little bit boring. Sin, we've talked about this every time Färjestad's played. You need to threaten the opposition with that quick counterattack. The slap shot, the slap pass, the Omaha. Call it what you will. Establish that the Conquer defense needs to respect the speed threat that the Wings have on Färjestad. We see those faster builds from Afe and Antonio. Either option will be open there. You'll get your chances eventually. Be willing to take the icing calls. Sin, do you think you can quick hit the 3 points we had for Conquer? Because we're just about ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to need a bit more consistency, not just in general, not in their series. They've had some up moments. They've had some down moments. They upset wins against Yippee Voskala and H-Reds. It could be in the taking. They just need to put all the things together. They need team defense as well. It's not just the goaltending, not just the defense. You need the 5-man commitment. And the last one here is discipline. Long story short, taking too many penalty minutes. And that, of course, means less possession. And against a team like Färjestad, you don't want to give them too many chances to get their offense going, because once they start getting going, that can create a snowball effect, and they will be extremely dangerous.
Absolutely. So, again, just about ready for puck drop here. You see Conquer there in black, red, and white. Färjestad, of course, in the white and green. Ready to go for the first two games of two. First of two games between these two teams. And again, just remember, if we have more technical difficulties, I am not afraid to just belt it out. I mean, leave your suggestions in chat. I mean, we're past holiday season. Maybe we belt out some Mariah Carey. Maybe we belt out whatever the hell else you want. Let me know some suggestions. What we got to do. All things considered. So here we go now. Again, the first game of two between these two teams. Not a great start there for Antonio as he ends up on his back. We'll see if Färjestad can find that offensive scoring touch that they desperately need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they're starting off good, trying to gain the zone right here, maybe trying to establish some pressure. And they do have a good cycle when they get it going. It's just so often there's so much emphasis on that defense and counterattack that we don't get a chance to see it.
Good play to get it around the back here from Conquer, looking to step in. Couple of options here. They like not to shoot, tried to pass it through the traffic. Didn't work for Talamise. Here's Afe, though. Big stretch, has help, spin back across, gets it back, and he scores on the open net. Incidental play or not, it is that speedy pressure from the wingers that pays off as Afe finds the back of the net. Top 10 in scoring. Sin leads this team in scoring, and now we see why.
Yeah, and the front three from Färjestad all getting in on that goal. Assist coming from Mullen and Antonio. Just a great 2-on-1 play. Afe with the spin, the pass, the bounce right back to him. Ends up working out the empty net, putting it home. And just what a start. What a start from Färjestad. The quick strike ability we often talk about usually comes on quick plays, but in this case, it's a quick strike in the first to put them up 1-0. This is where they like to play, up, because when they get that defensive system going, McSavage starts getting hot back there. They are a hard team to beat, but they just need to get that first goal, and with a quick strike like that, they've got themselves in that perfect position.
You mentioned it, Sin, basically the perfect start for FBK, exactly what they were looking for. Now the pressure on Conquer, again, a team that struggles defensively, not that great offensively either, so really not the start that they needed. Still here in the offensive zone, Mullen tries to throw one on, loose puck is there. Furion nearly able bring that one home. Again, Conquer right now maybe caught a little bit off guard, not the start that they needed, but here in the attacking zone now, a good opportunity. Finds it way over to Kapako, the chance in front, just not able to find its way home either. So, I mean, a good chance there for Conquer. They've had a couple of good looks already through the opening 9 minutes or so now. But obviously that one goal, very, very disheartening to give up a goal seemingly out of nothing. Turnover here, though. Antonio tries to find his way through. It gets kicked back to the neutral zone. Rubitus has a couple of options. He'll circle back. An errant pass that almost worked out there for a second before Talamies was able to shut that one down.
Yeah, Conquer really having trouble gaining the zone, though. As I said that, they get right back in, but the problem is they're not able to do a whole lot. Rubitus and Furian doing a great job of intercepting those pucks.
Puck down low here, trying to get the cycle going. Mullen just not able to bring that one around in front. Picks it back up along the half wall, though. Rubitus down low for Antonio. Shot on, and the glove save there for Yaresti. Again, Färjestad with the early goal here in this one. Afe, top 10 scorer in the league, leading scorer of this team. It's his 13th goal of the season. Mullen and Antonio up front combined for 6. So this offense runs through Afe. And here we see the center and the winger here trying to make it work. Antonio just not able to get that one to go, but a good opportunity. Then really when talking about it, the two, Mullen and Antonio, that kind of overshadowed in the goal-scoring department by their winger on the left there in Afe, who has a bit of a step here, finds its way through. Good recovery there, though, for Conquer. Not for a lack of trying. Mullen and Antonio still get themselves some decent chances. Just a little bit snake-bitten, perhaps, this season.
Yeah, and when it comes to Antonio, he's just such a good passer that why not use your strongest asset?
Woo, as Afe throws one through the crease, just doesn't go. Another chance on the near post. That one rifled wide. Färjestad looking pretty good here in this opening period. 4 minutes to play. Rubitus back down low for Mullen. Has options, held on to it for a little bit too long. Vilsa was able to get the contact. We'll see what Conquer can do here in response. Titanov finds Vilsa, tries to pull back and dies on the line. It's covered by McSavid. Sin, a penalty shot coming up here for Vilsa. He was tripped.
And I also think there's a power play as well. I saw a 2-minute marker pop up. I'm curious to see if there is a power play after that, if that was some sort of visual glitch. But nonetheless, McSavid needs to come up big for his team right here.
Here comes Vilsa looking for his 7th goal of the season. He won't find it as it sneaks just wide of the post. Goes under McSavid on the flying poke check. Close call there. And indeed, it is still going to be a power play for Conquer. Quickly trying to go to work here. One-timer and a big kick save from McSavid, denying Kapako on the play. So, Sid, correct me if I'm wrong, it is Afe who takes a seat there for Färjestad. That is his first penalty of the season in his 15th game. An unfortunate time to take one, but 2 big stops here from McSavid, keeping Färjestad in control of this one.
Yeah, and we get to see the number 1 PK go to work, and they were looking for a shorty right there. The floating dump over there to Mullen just wasn't able to come up with it, but here comes Conquer, a down low pass to get the cycle going.
Halfway through the power play, errant pass will go all the way back down to the Conquer zone. And a big chance here now for Färjestad to see this one through. Again, as Sin mentioned, perhaps the commentator's curse, but a picture-perfect penalty kill still 100%. Will it stay that way? Shot on, glove save by McSavid with 9 seconds to go on the man advantage. And a 1-1-1 across the board. 11 seconds remaining here in the first.
Sort of floating wrister right there. Had that been more to the left side of the net, McSavid sliding to his right could have been caught off guards, but as it stands, got the glove on it, and the penalty has been killed by FBK, and here comes Antonio.
40 seconds left. Antonio with the step, not able to work his way through. One more chance here for Conquer, perhaps. There's the step-up opportunity across, and they score! Lightning fast. Conquer Gaming have tied this one. It's Titanov able to find the back of the net, his 7th of the season. And what a turn of events there for Conquer Gaming.
Yep, Conquer showing off a bit of the quick strike transition ability of their own. Unfortunate break for Furian there, who had his defensive skill stick in a decent position, wasn't granted the contact, and Rubitus not granted the intercept right there. Couple things had to fall into place for Conquer to capitalize on that, but a great job by Titanov, as you said, who sneaks it by McSavid on the one time, and tie game now for Conquer, who may not be done. They're looking to press for more.
4 seconds here, the chance. Vilta throws one on in front. Chance again, just stopped by the traffic. So a late goal here in the first for Conquer Gaming, able to tie this one up at 1 apiece. Big turning point there. We thought Färjestad might get that momentum after a successful penalty kill and penalty shot stop. But again, Tatanov able to find that goal. Sets the stage for a pretty interesting second period to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Färjestad, as good as they have, they are defensively, and as maybe they want to start pushing for a bit more offense right there. Kind of an unfortunate series of events right there that led to that goal from Conquer, but it's, you can never take your foot off the gas, and we almost saw that after the goal with the last 8 seconds. Conquer kind of gained that zone relatively easily again. They threw that puck out front. Didn't quite, get to their stick on the initial pass, but if Paco had about another second to work with, he picked up that rebound, was in good position with a bit of a shooting lane, could have maybe sneaked another one home on McSavid right there. So we'll see what happens here in the second. We're getting another look at that first Färjestad goal, and as chat mentioned, I think it was Afe getting a bounce that only Afe seems to be able to get, and he's able to capitalize on that. And then on the flip side, of course, Conquer Gaming, just with a perfect pass, really avoiding the skill stick and avoiding the defender there, avoiding incidental contact, and of course with the shot, getting it through McSavid. So tie game here, really interesting to see how this second period shapes up, and if we're going to see Färjestad maybe fall back into a more defensive style and look to transition a bit more.
We'll see again how this one plays out. Early turnover for Färjestad. Chance again here for Vilta. Goes back to the point. D-to-D. Quickly broken up. Another chance doesn't find its way through. See what Färjestad can do here on this first counterattack. Good skating display from Mullen. Tried to find Antonio. Still fighting for it. The pass back doesn't go, and a chance now here. Perhaps numbers developing for Conquer. Paco stepping up. Tried the short side. Tried the 5-hole, actually. It looked like McSavid stands tall on that one.
Yeah, and excellently played by Rubitus there, not going too far to either the shooter or the passer, and then diving at the perfect moment to stop that pass, not allowing enough time for the sauce to be charged up either. But that all started because Furion actually got caught in a slap shot animation for the one time in the zone, right in the high slot, and that led to that 2-on-1 developing.
Stretch pass off the mark there, intercepted by Rubitus. His follow-up pass also a little bit off the mark. Conquer slowing things down here. First 4 minutes gone of this second period. Tied up game here, 1 goal apiece. Again, the first game of 2 between these two clubs here in this broadcast. The spin move from Mullen off the mark. Conquer back in control. Not afraid, apparently, to slow this one down a little bit. See what they're able to do here now, trying to weave their way through the neutral zone. We see Paco getting involved a lot more offensively now. After a bit of a slow start through the first, again, Sin, probably a sign that they respect the counterattacking ability that Färjestad possessed. Great job there to break it up, but only for the moment. Färjestad still in possession. Trouble for Furion at the point. Tries to get it back in front, just not able to find its way to the tape of a teammate. Big pass there. Opportunity to Tatanov back in front. Sent across for Vilta. A little bit off the mark. That was a hell of a heads-up play there. Try and feed that pass through. So Conquer Gaming right now, Sin, getting a little bit better of the play, I'd say.
I would honestly say that passing play was really pretty and really what they needed to do right there. McSavid not caught unawares, but would not have gotten back in time for that shot, I don't think. Just an unfortunate break for Conquer that one didn't connect. But yeah, they're looking extremely good here on the counterattacks of their own and being patient with the puck and gaining the zone like they did right there.
I mean, again, we've talked about the big stretch pass there for Afe. We talked about that a lot too. But the offensive struggles for Färjestad is that one sent over the front of the crease. The opportunity there, short side, nearly bounced in after hitting the side of the net. McSavid will eventually get this one as it ping-pongs its way around. But Färjestad not looking the same as they were when they were playing with the lead.
Yeah, absolutely not. They're kind of feeling like they need to push for more offense because oftentimes they've fallen into the trap of their own trap and, not able to get back in the games.
Good D-to-D work here. Capaco has options, goes down low. Vilta tried to throw it in front. Looked like he had a wraparound bid. Likes to not go for it. Of course, we don't really see the wraparound as a go-to move, at least as much as we used to in prior games. This one will be offside. 6:29 to go. Again, still tied at 1. Afe, the goal for Färjestad. And again, the goal from Tatanov, tying it up for Conquer Gaming in the closing moments of that first period. Face-off goes the way of Yurtsik once more, quickly turned over. Mullen able to find off a bit of space with the speed along the half wall. Mullen down low in the corner, has a couple of options, goes back to the point. Chance for Furian. Finds his centerman one more time. The big spin from Mullen. Holds it down low. Not able to find the space. Big kick save there to deny Afe the opportunity from the odd angle. Shouldn't have looked for that a couple of times. Looks like Uresti had it scouted. That was a great save.
Yeah, and they're really looking for that one shot right there. There's a couple chances where they could have took some other shots, but they elected to kind of keep cycling, keep being patient, looking for the opportunity. Didn't pay off that time. Not a bad strategy at times, but I would like to see a couple more shots being taken by a team like Färjestad. When you're struggling to score some goals, sometimes just take the shot. Furian had a really good lane right there as he crept in, elected not to shoot, kept it alive. It did lead to a good chance for Färjestad, but there's also been a couple occasions where it has led to just no shot and the puck going away from that end.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we've talked about. For a team struggling offensively, do you still want to take that strategy of going for the high-quality chances? As there is a delayed call here, Färjestad will go on the man advantage. McSaven making his way, or at least trying to make his way to the bench. Of course, the goaltender does finally become the extra attacker. We're not going to see McSaven in action there, though. Going to be an interference call here. Still unsure who's going to the box on this one for Conquer Gaming. I believe it's Talenmees, the right defender for them. So Färjestad to the man advantage here. Thrown in front. Antonio not able to find the space. This one will be sent at least back to the neutral zone. Sin, we've seen it. Great PK for Färjestad. An okay power play at this stage. Not able to hold that one in there was Furian. For Conquer, though, a below-average power play, a below-average PK. It's a great chance here for Färjestad to regain the lead, but with just 3 seconds to play in the period, we're going to have to wait until the third. There'll be 1:02 left on the man advantage to carry over. We are still deadlocked at 1 goal apiece heading into that third period.
Yeah, and Färjestad seem a little discombobulated there on the power play. They forced the middle early on, then they couldn't quite gain the zone. You saw the attempt right there at the drop pass as they're running out of time, maybe had to rush that pass a little bit, and it kind of just died on the blue line without fully gaining the zone right here. We're getting a good look at the shot by, I believe that is Vilca right there. Or no, that was a Capaco. Sorry about that. And good save by McSavid. Here's another look. That toe save coming out from Uresti, and I think that was off of there on that end, kind of switching sides right there as the cycle went on. It was a huge save.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we've seen that odd angle chance from them a couple of times. I hate to say it, but kind of Havu and Philadelphia like. So interesting. I mean, hey, you might want to pick. Not to say, of course, they originated the moves, but hey, you go with what works for some of the best teams. If you can adapt it yourself, you're in a good spot. Opportunity there does not go. Furian able to recover. Back to the point, it's Rubitus. Now Antonio, you see the heavy collapse here from Conquer. They're trying to find a shooting lane, picked up and cleared by Vilca. That'll bring us back to 5-on-5. So not the power play you would have wanted to see there from Färjestad. Just not able to find the lanes, but here's the quick play. An unfortunate bounce, though. And Afe won't be able to win that foot race, of course, on the hybrid icing. So big face-off coming up in the offensive zone for Yurtsik and Conquer.
Yeah, Sword had to rush the slap pass a bit. Didn't quite get the angle off the corner boards where it would have bounced right up to Afe right there, and it ends up with an icing.
Loose puck picked up off the tie-up. Face-offs now 8 apiece. So we knew it was a much closer battle in terms of the percentages from these two centers heading into this matchup. And indeed, that's lived up to expectation. Already 3 minutes gone here in the third period. Just 1 goal apiece for these two teams. Some really good defense, I'd say, Sin, on display here. Of course, the first 2 matchups that we saw in Philadelphia's games earlier, and of course now here. I think that's been kind of the main focus this season is, people have had that discussion, is defense too difficult or what works and what doesn't. But that is really something that we've seen throughout these Elite Division games, at least the ones that we've been able to cover. We have had a lot of those defensive battles going on this season.
Yeah, and it's good in the sense that it's not just a neutral zone battle occurring. Teams are actually gaining the zone a bit more easily. It's just you have a few more tools on defense to work with.
Shot rifled there from the point by Furian, just stopped by Uresti. Here's Mullen one more time, and a miscommunication with Furian. And that'll go all the way back down to the Färjestad zone. Rubitus able to settle it down. See what Furion's able to do, leading it back down the other way. Quick D-to-D work. You see the pressure there from Vilta, feeling a little bit more confident as this game's played along. Trying to get those turnovers there in the attacking zone. A turnover there from Rubitas, unforced. Conquer's counterattack quickly slowed down. 11.5 to go in this game. Next goal could very well be the winner at this stage. And again, you see it from Conquer. Not afraid to drop back and get those resets. As Vilta brings it out wide, shot on and nearly deflected in front of McDavid, able to hold that one. Be another face-off in the Färjestad zone.
Yeah, kind of bobbled that puck too. Never a bad idea sometimes to just throw the puck on with a man crashing the net, like you mentioned. Could either be deflected or a rebound chance or just flat out bounce and go on their stick.
Good job there by Färjestad to win that draw. We'll see, though, if they can get the clean entry. They do. Mullen holding it alongside wall. Tried to throw it in front again for Rafe. Not able to find that lucky bounce once more. Sin, I will say a bold strategy if you're banking on the lucky bounces for Rafe, even if he's known for kind of getting them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the jam plays, again, are never a bad idea, especially with the way rebounds, bounces can work and, puck possession and such. And when you have a build like Afe, can definitely try to, get his hands on those, and the quick shot ability with, I believe he uses a sniper. I'm not too sure if he's changed it up since the break, but that's usually what he goes with, a very small sniper. And, it can be very good at picking up those pucks off the rebounds.
Absolutely. 7:28 remaining here. Big face-off in the Conquer zone. Off the tie-up, they do come up with the puck. But again, quickly shut down in the neutral zone. Seeing Färjestad play outside of their comfort zone here, of course, wanting that lead, not able to hold on to it. Good cycle movement here, though. Rubitas has a few options. Goes over from Fury on the bomb from the point. What a shot! Top 10 in scoring amongst defensemen, and you can see why. What a shot from Furion, and Färjestad, just like that, Sin, regain the lead. It looked like they might go for that D-to-D pass the whole time, then they finally do pull the trigger.
Yeah, it looked like he would go D-to-D, then it looked like he might shoot, and then he does go D-to-D, and I could feel the inner NHL fan swelling up in me, wanting to scream, shoot, and they finally do with the one-time right there, and it works out. Furion gets the goal, he's going to that right side and gets him on the far side. Such a popular shot, not as strong as it was in NHL 20, but a little bit stronger than it was at the beginning of NHL 21, where it was just awful.
Mullen tries it on the short side, just doesn't go. Great job there by Uresti to really, stare that one off as Afe our side. You got to figure they're going to pass to him, so great job there by Conquer's goaltender response. Foot race for the puck. Kapako will win this one. Pressure now once more on Conquer Gaming to tie this one up and at least earn themselves a point. Bit of space here. Opportunity. Walk down Yurtsik's shot. We'll see again what happens here. They do feed it up to Afe. Kapako, great defense, though. On display here. Conquer back in on the attack. But again, you see Färjestad really getting those defensive layers going. See a lot of the top teams do extremely well. Dump a chase here. Antonio Manning trying to chase that one down. Not able to get the space. Sin quickly approaching the final minute of play here. Game 1 of 2 between these two games. Again, ECL Elite Division regular season action. Here's the space, the time. Antonio can't drag it home. Another great job there by Uresti. 4-on-3 for Conquer down the other way. Chance once more. Built across. Big glove save by McDavid. What vision on display to find Talonmies there for the shot. But McDavid comes up with the biggest stop of the game.
Yeah, almost like he knew that was coming, looking kind of like an AI goaltender who's sometimes just there before the shot even is taken. Excellent read by McDavid. The great glove save, the great slide, not oversliding, not undersliding, just a perfect like Goldilocks. And my goodness, I mean, that could be, remember that save. Remember that save if Färjestad hold on to win here in the third period, because that was an excellent chance, almost perfectly executed by Conquer Gaming, rushing in quick, stopping up, catching, maybe Färjestad's defenseman overcommitting.
Empty net here, Sin, not to interrupt you. Bold call from Conquer. The goalie is out on the attack, has a chance there. Loose puck is recovered, 35 to play. Good movement, the goaltender down low. Opportunity in front, second chance, McDavid is there again. Unbelievable stops from the Färjestad netminder. They're still up by 1.
Yeah, and we don't usually see this coming out. Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't quite notice it because I wasn't looking for it, but yeah, Conquer with the goalie pull.
They win the face-off yet again, 25 to go. Capaco down low, wrap-around pit for Uresti. The goaltender nearly found the back of the net. Good poke here, 17 to go. Färjestad trying to get the clean breakout. They have space. Mullen over the line, backhand going to be shot wide. 10 seconds to play, one final rush. 6 men out there for Conquer. Space, chance, a freeze on our side, and a freeze with a puck there from McSaban with 1.4 to go.
Oh, that was a little bit scary. Here comes the aggressive faceoff. Unfortunately, the goalie is a lefty, so they won't have that one-time option. It's all going to be on Viltza.
High up on the draw. And that will do it. Sin, how's that for drama in the closing moments of a game? Färjestad survive a very close and competitive game to take the 2 points away to kick things off here. Incredible stuff there as we're going to look again. The play of the game-winning goal from Furion, again, is 4th of the season. The 2nd game-winning goal of the year. And a big W there for Färjestad.
Yeah, huge W right there. And while they didn't get a ton of goals, they got enough. And, you know, they can at least take that. They got a win as well. They got the points. And again, man, McSavid at the end, 2 huge saves. That could have easily been goals, and he was right there. He's an interesting goaltender. He's a little, I won't say weird, but just sometimes he doesn't play like a lot of the other goaltenders. He'll be a lot more aggressive at times than you're used to seeing, and then other times he'll be less aggressive. It's kind of a, can't find the word I'm looking for right here, but it's very fun to watch. You know, he's just, it works. Whatever it is, it works for him. And, you know, he gets a 90 save percentage in that one, as Conquer only able to muster 1 goal, a lot less time on attack, but you saw the difference in kind of cultures right there, as Conquer trying to take a few more shots with less time on attack. Färjestad a bit more patient, was getting a look at some of the replays, and we're seeing just
not to cut you off, that was the final chance of the game that we didn't get a very clean look at, but nearly an unfortunate break there. Regardless, the end result, again, not to cut you off there, Sin, but again, we have so much to talk about here, so we're going to be with you back here in the studio, as it's called. Again, the empty net chance for Mullen just goes wide. On the bright side, no penalties for Mullen, so he stepped up in that way. But again, just one of the many talking points that we have here heading into this second game. Whole lot to talk about. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after a very quick word from our sponsor at Wilhelm.
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.
Then we had it pretty much confirmed to us earlier today. There is a very good chance that by the end of this season, maybe for the championship round at the end of the playoffs, we're going to have our hands on some Wilhelm snacks. And I, for one, am excited.
I am absolutely excited. I've been training for it. Got some ghost pepper chips the other day to, you know, it's my form of training, getting ready for those flaming hot sausages that they got, man. I'm beyond excited for that.
Absolutely. So again, we are just about ready to go. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us. The second game of 2 between these 2 teams, and the 4th and final game of this broadcast. Again, a friendly reminder, NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. Check us out as well on YouTube. Again, trying to do our best to keep things up to date there in case you miss any of the action here live with us. So, Sin, again, as we get ready, Färjestad and Conquer Gaming again. Let's talk about the winning side, because in theory, there's probably a little bit less that they have to do to really, you know, walk away with the 4 points that they're looking for today. What stood out for you, aside from a tremendous goaltending performance from McSaven? What stands out for you, and what do they really need to look to change heading into the second matchup to make sure they get those extra 2 points?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Färjestad, I think at times Conquer had a little bit of a too easy time gaining the zone. Färjestad did a good job recovering with the back check, but, you know, a couple times where Furion and Rubitus didn't quite gap their men correctly, and or just, you know, enough to, you know, provide the amount of time that the back checkers needed to get back. I mean, they got fast builds. They just need that little bit of extra time to get back in there, because they can't body as well with the smaller builds, so they're going to have to get in a position to use that defensive skill stick. So they're trying to find that balance on that. and I would like to see a few more shots being taken by Färjestad. It worked for you. You got the win, but there's, at times, they're looking for those extra passes, looking for the perfect opportunity when they're missing, some shots that could easily get through, create some rebounds. And with the way Afe gets bounces, you never know. Could be good.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, sometimes it is better to be lucky than good, as they say. So again, for Färjestad, you overcome that 1-0 lead that you let get away from you. You end up getting the win. Some close calls there. Your goaltender had to bail you out, but ultimately that's what he's there for. And we knew McDavid was capable of that. Top 4 in terms of save percentage amongst starters in this league heading into the action today. And of course, we know in general, Färjestad, that more defensive style. They're at least able to get a couple of goals in this one. Obviously, they're going to want a little bit more, but at the end of the day, they get that win. For Conquer Gaming now, though, you fall to 5-10-2, just 12 points on the season. As you see, we are just about ready to go for action here in this one. I mean, it's tough to say this is a must-win game for them. But in theory, again, we're beyond the holiday break. We're in the back half of the season. You play 30 games a year. And again, as mentioned, 17 games played now. Sooner rather than later, you're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
You need something here. You can't walk away if you're a team on the outside looking in without any points whatsoever in a series. What's it going to take from them? Because we've seen some positive results, but again, just the one goal in that game.
Yeah, I like what they did. A bit more time on attack with the strategy they're employing would go a long way. Again, it's not like they only lost by 1 goal. I can't really say any glaring holes that they really, messed up with to allow Färjestad to win that game, but it just didn't fall their way. So it's hard to say, they could get a bit more time in attack. How do you do that? Again, I wish I had the answer to that because Färjestad played a pretty good game, but, maybe when they gain the zone, try getting it low a bit more because we saw Färjestad and Rubitus getting, a bit more higher on that blue line, letting them in and then trying to be aggressive afterwards. Maybe sending it down low might be the recipe for success for Conquer.
And again, the one-timer from Färjestad scored the game-winning goal in the last game. Chance for Afe on the doorstep, so early looks for Färjestad. In this one, of course, in the green, the home team in this one, Conquer in the white and red. So again, for Färjestad, Färjestad, the left defenseman, scoring that winning goal. See if they can get the defense involved a little bit more in the goal scoring. Good look there off the face-off play. Just doesn't come to fruition. We'll see again if Färjestad can get that opening goal. We know that they play much better with the lead. Here's Antonio back for Färjestad. Second chance off a backdoor. What a vision. What a vision. What a pass. With what vision? Unbelievable look there. Malin gets the goal. Phenomenally done for his 4th goal of the season. Sin leaving this broadcaster tongue-tied. Great play there for Färjestad to get the lead.
I don't blame you. What a pass. What patience from Afe. Just his 3rd assist of the season. He shoots more than not, but that time finding Malin there right on the doorstep who slides that one home backhand. And this is exactly what Conquer did not want or need in this game, is to once again go down to Färjestad and give them the game that they want to play.
The rare goal there from Afe, or the rare goal from Malin, I should say, the rare assist. Big saves here by Uresti in response. Everything about Färjestad right now, catching us off guard in this one. The big pass there from Antonio nearly freed up Afe for another chance. Sin, again, we saw perhaps a little bit more of a slower start for Färjestad, so certainly catching us off guard to see them start off this strong here in the second game. Conquer the shot on. Delta not able to generate a rebound there. McDavid able to make the stop. So again, as Sid mentioned, the rare assist from Afe. Bit of a rare goal from Malin in this one. But regardless, Färjestad again open up the scoring within the first 5 minutes of play. They win the draw. Good puck movement early on. Errant pass here, though, might open up a chance for Titanov, trying to get something going on the forecheck. This one banks off the back of the Färjestad goal. Turned over here. Vilta back to the point. Again, back to Vilta. Cross chest. Couldn't get a piece of it. The open net. Färjestad back in possession here now. Under 7 minutes gone. Rubitus stepping up. The men in green not able to find anything going there. And we'll see once more. Conquer just 1 goal at this point. Played from behind for a good part of the action. At least for the majority of the first period in the last game. See what happens there. Again, a pass goes through the traffic. Vilta not able to find anyone on the other end of it. Opportunity now. Titanov not able to hold on. Big pass again intercepted. So Conquer doing a good job right now of neutralizing some of these breakouts for Färjestad, but just not able to generate some of those high-scoring chances so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're really catching Färjestad doing what they want to do.
Oh, the toe drag nearly walked his way in. It was incredible there. I think he caught everybody off guard by not trying to force the pass over to Afe. A little bit more offensively. That's what Färjestad needs to see from Antonio and Malin up top there. The big spin, pass down low, banked off the back of the net for Titanov. 12 minutes gone. Conquer still looking threatening, and this one rifled off of a leg, goes around the back. Chance here again for Conquer. Can't get it through the traffic. Then they're looking good. They just can't get these shots on target, let alone find the back of the goal consistently. And, we've seen that throughout the season here for Conquer, where, it looks like the talent level's there. They just haven't been able to put it together.
Yeah, it's the conversion that's hurting them right now, but I really liked how that play all started. It started with them getting that puck in deep and catching Färjestad off guard a little too high, wasn't able to get back, and it was Titanov who pressured him into that, and that led to that extended zone time for Conquer, so they might have found the way to get that more time on attack. More chances, more reps in can lead to more goals. It's just about the conversion, like you said.
Offensive zone draw win there for Conquer, but not able to do anything with a big stretch pass and a big interception from Talonmies there. Haven't really been able to speak too much about him offensively throughout the gameplay so far between these two teams. Afe tries to throw one on, doesn't go. Malin able to recover, but again, just nothing doing there. A lot of broken plays in a very competitive first period between these two teams. Färjestad, though, able to find the back of the net early on. As mentioned, it was Malin, just his 4th goal of the season. A lot of layers in defense here. No chances really opening up. Loose puck there, scrambled. Just not able to find the space again. McSavid caught moving left to right. There was just nothing doing. Malin slaps that one in. A chop attempt from Afe doesn't go. And that'll bring us to the final minute of this first period. 1-0 Färjestad, but a chance for Conquer to get another late goal. Heading into the second, again thrown in front by Vilsa. It looks like the space is there, but those passes just not finding their way to a teammate on the other end. Spin move from Malin. Throws it across Afe. Nearly found the back of the net. Sin, we've seen the spin move from Malin a lot. I thought I like to use the spin move when I play. Malin has taken it to a completely different level. Nearly paid off there. A 1-0 lead for Färjestad has to be frustrating for Conquer Gaming.
Absolutely, with the amount of chances that they've gotten. I mean, it's kind of a wonder why they haven't tied this game up, but it's been good defense, good recovery from Färjestad, as we saw there on that one-time look. It was Afe who came back and got that intercept. A great job of him participating on defense in the collapse, which gives the Färjestad structure, that it's just that good. And I do want to mention one thing that we've talked about. We often mention Antonio in his transition from D to forward, how much of a boon that has been for Färjestad's, transition to being a better defensive team. But one thing I don't think we've touched on is when you're a defenseman, you get used to stretch passes. And when you have a guy like Afe, who's always looking to get in there on those breakaways, having a winger who can perform those crazy sauces and stretch passes is another huge advantage. And we've seen that multiple times from Antonio in this game. A perfect saucer pass doesn't always make it through. Sometimes the defenseman will get a stick on it or it'll bounce. But I mean, that is something that I think that Färjestad can really build on to get more offense here, is relying on Antonio to really be able to sneak those excellent saucer passes through and really help Färjestad get some better chances on the offense, or at least more chances on the offensive side.
Second period underway here. Of course, we saw Conquer their ability to tie up this game, just not able to get it to overtime. No, Färjestad getting both points in that first matchup. We do have the lead here, and a chance now from Malin, loses it. Double team pressure there. Titanov, the big stretch pass over to Vilsa. Back into the middle. It's Yurtsik trying to find a little bit of space. Defended well there by Rubitus. And equally as well by Kapako on the other side. Conquer in the zone. What can they do with it? Down low, back across. Perhaps one pass too many. And that's always the debate. One pass too many to try and find the A-plus play, or just go for the A-minus play as Rubitus, or not Rubitus, excuse me, Furion nearly tried to pick the corner there. It goes back to Rubitus at the point now. Both defensemen for Färjestad getting involved. Opportunity backhand shot for Antonio. This one is denied and covered by Uresti.
Yeah, and you said it. It's the age-old debate. Is it one extra pass, or it's whatever way it doesn't go. If you mess up one way, you'll always wish you did it the other way. In that situation, the pass might have been the right choice, as McSavid was not in position for the shot, but it was a good intercept by, I believe, Furion to stop that in its tracks.
Around the back of the net here, all the way back up to the point on the other side. Turned over, though. It's Afe against Kapako, one-on-one. Afe, the move, the backhand off the pipe. What an individual effort there from Afe. Had the defender beat, had the goaltender beat, but couldn't get it past the framework. Conquer Gaming, lucky to still only be trailing by 1. Good cycle movement here in the offensive zone, but they can't hold on to it. Mullen doesn't do anything with it, just doesn't pull the trigger. I don't know if that play developed the way he thought it might. Great job by Antonio here, though, to win it back in the neutral zone. Has it here, the big spin, tries to drag it home, it doesn't go. Then I think Färjestad, collectively as a unit, used the spin move more than any other team in the ECL Elite Division.
Absolutely, and it's a very good move because you could either pass off of it or shoot off of it. Right there, Antonio looked for the shot, didn't quite get it.
Paco has it one more time. Biltza down low into the corner. Good movement here. Throws one on. Kick save. Second chance. Doesn't go. Paco has it poked off. Shot on deflection. Bid doesn't go. The chances are there for Conquer Gaming. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net. They rush this one. Offside call with 9:22 remaining here in the second period.
And just to point it out once again, that offensive zone pressure started for them getting that puck in low. So they really seem to be wanting to lean on that, and it's working against Färjestad. They just haven't been able to convert off the back of it.
Oof, Afe tried that quick pass. Nobody there. Antonio has it off the pad there of Uresti. Antonio looking a lot more dangerous here in this game as well, Sin. I think really as the season goes on, he's continuing to find that offensive touch.
Yeah, really getting comfortable. He hasn't been rewarded with the goals there, but he is looking for passes a lot of the time as well, as we see a trip. Not too sure if that was Mullen, but someone's going to the pass.
And it is indeed. So there you go. Didn't take a penalty in the last game. Mullen goes to the box here. The center for Färjestad takes a seat. Conquer on the man advantage once more. Couldn't convert in the first game. What a stop by McSavid. Denying Viltza on the Ovechkin-esque one-timer. 2-on-1 here for Färjestad. Across scores! Short-handed goal on the other side. And coming out of Afe. Färjestad double it up. What a heartbreaker for Conquer.
Wow. I mean, just, again, another perfectly timed pass and charged up really well, too. And unfortunate right there for Kapako. He probably was wishing he got the intercept on that. But in 21, one thing that you'll notice as a defenseman, it's harder to intercept when you're, using that left trigger. If you turn around at the last second, surprisingly, sometimes you can get those intercepts better. Nonetheless, it was, it's a tough break for Conquer. You gave up a 2-on-1 in the power play, and, Antonio had all day to charge up the pass and find the right angle, and Afe on the back door just snuck it home.
Chance there, short side. Big glove save for McDavid, denying the center, Yurtsik. And again, there was a huge chance there for Conquer. Viltza, the one-timer. McDavid up to the challenge. It leads to the shorty the other way. Färjestad now up by 2. Still have a little bit of work to do here, though, on the penalty kill. We'll see if Conquer can get it back. Now up to the point, Kapako again to Viltza in front, just not there. Great job by Antonio. Might as well be a third defenseman out there with his experience. Chance here one more time. Loose puck broken up. Shot ended up on net. Quickly cleared out. There's Mullen with the contact. He's going to get the puck back, too. Fresh out of the box. Toe drag doesn't go through. But Färjestad, Sin, 100% penalty kill still intact and scoring shorthanded goals to boot.
I mean, that's a pretty good differential if you ask me.
When will the streak end? Undertake a rest at this point. We'll see what happens here, though. Viltza trying to work his way through. Pass across to Tatanov. Just doesn't go. It's over 2.5 to play here in the second period. And Furion draws a trip. It'll be Färjestad going to the man advantage, potentially, unless they find a way to convert here. It's Rubitas. Back over for Furion. The extra attacker is on. There is McSavid. Tries to go back to Furion. Again down low. Mullen, the big spin. Loses it, though. 1:05 to go. Färjestad to the power play. It will slow down the timer just a little bit in the last minute here, but a big opportunity for Färjestad, but Conquer Gaming getting the job done, winning that opening draw, and maybe a shorthanded bit of their own. Viltza to yardstick. 45 seconds to go. The Centermen still maintaining possession. Risky business here, though, if they choose to attack. Capaccio takes a big hit. 20 seconds to play. Mullen looking to lead it in. Instead, it's Furion. Burst of speed from the defenseman. Back in front. Loose puck once more. Rubitas holding it. Shot on glove. Save by Aresti. Mullen nearly catching him off the mark. Sin, Conquer Gaming, you might feel a little bit lucky that you're not trailing by more. 1.5 to go. McSavid is out as the extra attacker here. Face-off is one shot and a big glove save again by Uresti. Honestly, Sin, surprised he tried to go glove side. You have to think maybe Uresti was thinking the pass to McSavid would be there. Regardless, Färjestad up 2-0, and again, they'll have a little bit of time left to put that power play to work in the beginning of the third period, but a huge moment there with that shorthanded goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's kind of curious that he did choose to go to the far side right there, because you got to think the goalie has to respect that one time as well. The short side may have been open, but he did take a couple looks at it. Maybe he just didn't get the aim he wanted out of it, but nonetheless, nothing came of it. But Antonio's had some chances. He had another one a couple minutes prior to that where he just got a funky animation on, you know, when your player's body's turning and you take the slowest shot known to man, when it would have been a good chance. He was collapsing into that high slot with speed, with the good one time, with the shooting lane, just didn't quite get the chance he needed. But Färjestad with a bit of power play carryover time here to start the third.
45 seconds remaining on that man advantage. The pass from Afe, a little bit off the mark. McDavid will play this one out. Good pass up to Furion. Forced to circle back here, though. Mullen taking his time, looking for the pass. Good patience here. Furion, the one-timer, or not the one-timer, but just the slap shot. Not afraid to display that. Of course, scored on a one-timer earlier on. As this one will not go down for icing. We are back to 5-on-5. Let's see again what Conquer Gaming can do. Just one goal through 5 periods of play. Thrown across Viltz's pass. Viltz's really looks, up for the challenge here in this game, but just not able to get the luck he's needed on those passes. Antonio across for Afe. Loose puck is there! It's another one like it's been. You called an Afe bounce. It's an Antonio bounce. 3-0. For Färjestad. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Conquer. It seems like every time the puck's going the other way, there's a chance for it to go in. Another bounce goes the way of Färjestad, and Antonio finally rewarded for his troubles. All the chances he's been getting, just his 4th goal on the season, and he has been getting plenty. That time, it came from trying to be the good guy to pass over to your teammate, Afe. He gets rewarded with a goal, and Färjestad, it's their game to lose.
Absolutely, But there you go. Conquer Gaming. Easy as you like. They find their way through on the quick counter. Just like that, Sim, we have ourselves a game.
Yeah, and it's Vilca getting rewarded. As you mentioned, he's been doing a good job, trying to get those passes through, trying to generate some offense. Does get rewarded now, and it's far from over now. A quick strike there. Still plenty of time left in the third, and with the amount of time that Conquer's been getting, I think better than their last game, they really have a chance to come back here. Färjestad is going to need to put that defensive format to the test.
Just a quick play off the draw, quick pass. McSavid not able to react in time. And a big goal there for Conquer Gaming. So again, back to a 2-goal deficit. 16.5 to play in the third. We get a long way to go in this one, folks. See how the next few minutes play out here. Here come Conquer Gaming again with a burst of speed. Shot on, glove save by McDavid on that one. So they can't go double or nothing. But a big chance here off the offensive zone draw for Conquer Gaming to get something going.
Yeah, opting to shoot right there. Could have maybe tried to force it through to Vilca, but with the way the intercepts have been going to Färjestad, smart play to just take the shot, just swallowed up by McDavid. Interesting pass right there.
Turnover in the own defensive zone. Those puck scores! Tatanov finds the back of the net off the turnover. Conquer Gaming back within 1.
And that, I'm not too sure what happened. It was Rubitus's pass, trying to pass it to his partner along the boards. Perhaps just took a weird bounce. You saw McDavid trying to kind of, a little struggling to find his positioning. He didn't have bad positioning right there. It's just a quick shot. I think beat him 5-hole. Yep, just under the right pad, as you can see there. And just like that, it's a 1-goal game. 2 quick strikes from Conquer, and now Färjestad have really got to be careful.
You talk about FBK being a very strong defensive team. Perhaps the mental lapse just getting to them here, giving up 2 goals in a matter of 2 minutes or so. we certainly have ourselves a game now at this point for Conquer. I think at this point, it's easy to say, just kind of keep your composure at this stage. Don't try to do too much. You got plenty of time to work with. And out of nowhere, you're right back here in this game. Veltza's pass a little bit off the mark there, and the teams will get a chance to reset. 13 minutes to go now here in this third period. Again, Färjestad, the 2-1 regulation win in the first game. Numbers here. Antonio, the chance, poked away at the last second. What an effort there on the backtrack for Conquer. See what they can do on the counterattack. Vilca back for Tatan off the one-timer, scores! 3 unanswered goals in a matter of 5 minutes. Conquer Gaming have tied this one up. It's 3-all.
Well, it looks like they're getting the goals that they have needed, and maybe you could even argue have deserved. Consistency is key. They're finally converting on some of their chances, and it came with just getting more zone time, more chances, more shots, more reps, and tough one for McSavid right there. You want to get that save animation, but again, you catch the goalie going one way, you shoot the opposite way. Färjestad trying to recollect themselves, going with the pause, going with the timeout. So we're getting another look at what happened there. Oh, might have even tapped off of the blocker. I'm not too sure, but we're getting a look right now. Antonio sees the defenseman. A great job thinking he can maybe, I think he's looking at maybe if he could have snuck it around the skate initially on the pass, elected to go back to the forehand to try the shot right there. There wasn't a whole lot of room. Well played by the defense of Conquer right there, but Talon Mies, a huge goal off the one time to tie this up, and just like that, I'm at a loss. That's incredible. What a comeback.
Again, there you see about 5 minutes, 3 goals. Unbelievable turnaround here for Conquer. Sin, how devastating is that? You talk about a shorthanded goal for Färjestad earlier in the game, but ultimately, it was a 3-on-1 rush for Färjestad, turns into the tying goal for Conquer on the flip side. You talked about the goal-scoring ability of Talon Mies. That's his 5th of the season. We are tied at 3. A potential season-altering comeback for Conquer Gaming if they can pull this off. And a scary moment here for Färjestad, like we said at the beginning of this broadcast, against the team that they really can't afford to slip up against. They have a relatively easy schedule in the back half of this season. Again, coming into the action today, 8 teams left that Färjestad have to play. Only 2 were in the top 4 of the standings. 5 were currently outside of the playoff structure. They need to win these games here against a team like Conquer. They were in the driver's seat, up 3-0. And 9 minutes to play. We are tied at 3.
Yeah, this is kind of the Färjestad of last season at times, who's able to score but couldn't keep the puck out of the net.
Mullen backhand, loose puck, save! Antonio denied by the blocker of Uresti. Another chance here, thrown back to the point. Furian to Rubitus, deflection bid for Rafe, doesn't go. Great job here, though, by Antonio, trying to win it back. Great pressure, but Vilca might be the player of the game right now for Conquer Gaming. Wins it back, stretch pass off the mark. Färjestad will be back in possession here. Mullen over the line, not able to hold on to it. Afe battles for it. Antonio on the intercept. Mullen, nobody to work with on that one. 5.5 to go. We saw a late game-winning goal for Färjestad in the last one. Sin, they're going to look to replicate that here.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh man, if you're Färjestad, you must be reeling right now. Hopefully they're able to recollect themselves. And if you're Conquer, it's just you feel like you have to do more of the same, but also you got the game tied. You don't have to push as hard. Could be a double-edged sword if you hesitate a bit too much. You could let Färjestad start taking control once again.
Pass over to Furian, the big spin. Afe elects to pass, nobody there. Rubitus able to recover. Back over to Furian. Mullen, a chance to Antonio. Great movement from Färjestad. Better save from Uresti. Under 3.5 to go. Stretch passes off the mark. No icing call. Now with 3 minutes to play. A 3-0 lead for Färjestad has evaporated. Who will walk away with the majority of the points in this one? Can Conquer Gaming complete one hell of a comeback to keep their postseason dreams alive in the back half of the season? Now 1.5 minutes to go. Stretch pass for Antonio off, bank off the boards, just off the mark there. Great defense by Capaco. And an offside call here, 56.9 remaining.
Wow. If you're Conquer right now, getting the point is nice, but you do desperately need that extra one with where they are in the standings, with, you know, losing the first game as well. And here we go. Vilsa just all over the ice.
Shot from Tatanov off the legs of the defense. Under 50 to play. Quick movement here from Färjestad. Malin leads it into the zone. Goes back to Fury and again back down low to the centerman. Trying to find a little bit of space here. Holds it down low. You see the heavy collapse from Conquer. Antonio recovers, but only for a moment. Conquer Gaming, 30 seconds to work with. Capaccio, the captain, stepping up, not able to find the space. Comes Antonio down the other way. Good defense, big spin. Afe tried to send to the cross. Great defense there from Tatanov. Now 18 to play. Are we destined for overtime? Looked like we might have been in that first game. Might get our second bit of overtime action in this broadcast. 9 seconds to play. Afe just trying to brute force his way in down the half wall, not able to find the space, and sin indeed. We're going to overtime. Conquer Gaming come back from 3-0 down to secure a very crucial point in their season.
Yeah, and it's none bigger than that. I mean, those three unanswered goals, still incredible. You know, they, like you said, they secure that point, but again, they really need this extra one here, and it's going to be a tough against a team as dangerous as Färjestad. We talked about them getting some bounces at times here, and Conquer at the end there, they got a couple favorable ones of their own and showed that, yeah, they can capitalize on those as well. But really good to see that their work is paying off. You know, we mentioned it in the first game, they're getting their chances. They're looking pretty good. Maybe just need a bit more time on attack and to convert. They get that in this game. They convert more in this game. An incredible 3-goal comeback in the third period. They forced overtime. Now, they still got to, go to work here. It's far from over. They need this extra point. One more goal for Conquer. But you can see there how Färjestad took back the time on attack. After Conquer kind of got out of desperation mode, we sort of saw Färjestad start to pick it up a bit more. So it's interesting. As Conquer, you're going to have to find that balance between aggression and, defensive play. You can't go full attack desperation mode, but you also can't just sit back and allow Färjestad to start to cycle it more.
We'll see how this one plays out. Again, 3 points secured for Färjestad here. And entered play today outside of the playoff structure on tiebreaker. So a very big day for them already. And again, Conquer Gaming securing the point. If they could pick up the second, it literally could be season-saving for them. But Färjestad in on the attack early on. Rubitas has some time, turns it over though. Good step up by Capaccio. Numbers here, perhaps. Färjestad doing a good job of stopping the transition game here all the way around. Capaccio back down low for Vilsa. Then the main man for Conquer here. But a good bit of defense on display by Rubitas. Färjestad now trying to bring it down the other way. They time it well at the line. But again, Conquer doing a good job here of cutting out some of the transition game with very active sticks in the defensive zone.
Yeah, and very good body position, too, to, try to get some incidental contact in case that, the stick doesn't work. Really good positioning.
Pinball hockey here with the puck bouncing every which way off of incidental contact. I know I would be screaming. Conquer Gaming in possession here. Sin with PTSD flashbacks. The opportunity now for Conquer on the rush here. Tried to feed it to Vilsa. He was triple teamed. Still tried it. Thrown across. Loose puck and a big save there by McSavid. As the puck found its way, the Talonme is on the step up. He has the tying goal. Nearly had the winning goal there. Another turnover here, though. Afe, now it's Antonio. Bit of space, short side. Big blocker save by Uresti. So chances on both sides of the ice here in this first overtime frame. We'll be sticking with this one for as long as the game may last. Toe drag, move, loose puck recovered by Antonio. And Färjestad might look to slow this one down. Maybe not. Early stretch pass to Antonio. Gains the line. Hits Afe. Loose puck again. Antonio for Malin. Short side. Can't get it to go. Opportunity on the odd angle again for Afe. We've seen it a couple of times. That one doesn't go either. Chance here for Yurtzik. Back to Capaccio again down to the centerman and tried the short side. McSavid comes up with the big stop. Halfway through this overtime. Good chances on both sides of the ice. Puck recovered here by Malin after Furian took the hit. Malin down to the defenseman. Banks it off the back of the net and out of play with 8:57 to go.
Yeah, and it's back and forth action from both of these teams, and neither of them being too overly aggressive. Conquer doing a good job getting back, as you mentioned, and started breaking that up, but a big offensive zone draw right here. Unfortunately, Mullen not able to win it to sustain some pressure. We'll see what Conquer can do on the transition.
Big stretch pass, space for Conquer. Big interception there from Furion, though. 8 minutes remaining in what could be the first overtime of many between these two teams. Again, Färjestad once led this game 3-0, and within 5 minutes it evaporated. Breakaway for Tatanov, misses on the backhand. What an opportunity there. Still the shot, big save by McSaven. Trying to survive this flurry from Conquer. Another shot on the backhand, and McSaven able to make the cover. Färjestad survive.
Yeah, and great job from McSaven on that bit of the breakaway right there, keeping him to the outside, reading what he was doing. I'm not too sure if he got a piece of that or if it just flat out missed.
Another big save by McSaven. Chance again, Conquer. Really feeling the offensive momentum. Another stop by McSaven in front. Like Piranha's in the offensive zone right now. The opportunity once more. It looked like they might have it on the forechecking pressure. Here comes FBK. Antonio looking to cut in, feeds it in front. Afe on the stick lift, not able to get a piece of it. Great defense there by Talamies. Does it one more time now. The defenseman looking to lead the rush. Gets the pass up. Again, Talamies with the tying goal. You see him here with the puck now. And that was close. Tatanov nearly found his way through.
They've tried those plays quite a bit here. They were going down low at one point. Now they're trying to split the D with those quick passes, gaining some speed from someone going right up the middle, and it has worked a couple times. That time, almost just offside.
Rubitas carries it in, throws it on, and the big glove save by Uresti with traffic in front. Sim, what do you say? A Game of the Year nominee here in the regular season?
It might just be. It had a bit of everything. Crazy good offense from Färjestad, big saves from McSaven, then the 3-goal comeback, and now overtime. Back and forth. No team seemingly gaining an edge here. Although, big chance for Färjestad on the icing call. Bit of an unforced error right there. Mullen, if he can win this, and Färjestad get their cycle going, this could be big.
Now FBK have some face-off plays in their locker. Here's the tie-up. Mullen comes up with it. Tried to get back out to the outside, defended well. Talamies has it here, hands it off to Yurtsik. Good movement here. Opportunity, a step, Yurtsik flying poke check, puck is still loose, and it doesn't find its way in. Mullen somehow walks away with it. 1.5 minutes to go.
Oh,
offside, off the bump. Unbelievable end-to-end play.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. That was crazy. McSaven with the flying poke check in a situation you usually may not see it. Led to a mad scramble of bodies flying across, trying to find that loose puck. And as you said, Mullen fortunately came up to it. Almost got a chance of his own back the other way. Not for the offside.
2-on-1 for Färjestad. Afe and Antonio, and Afe not able to drag it through. What a play by Kapako again, going all out. He pokes it away from Afe once more. Final minute is a slow one here. Kapako coming up with some big stops against the speedier builds. 1:10. Kapako not able to dump that one in, though. Afe able to get those ton off. Great defense there. We've seen the two-way play from him throughout this two-game set. Here comes Färjestad. It's double overtime on the agenda. Mullen back to Rubitas. Furion blocked down. Great job. Tatanov. What a job there. 49 to play. And the chance for Färjestad here in possession. Unforced turnover there. We'll see what Conquer can do in response. Bilta not able to find Tatanov. Loose puck is recovered by Mullen. Doesn't elect to try to pass it to Afe. Carries it in. A lot of pressure there, though. Still now down in the corner. Färjestad battling for it, but Conquer will settle it down. Come up with it. 25 to go. Mullen on the forecheck. Trying to take it away from Kapako. He's unable to. Big stretch pass to Bilta. Not able to step his way into the middle, but he has it along the wall one more time. Tatanov tries the backhand. Loose puck, and McSaven is forced to cover with 14 to go.
Wow. Just catch your breath a little bit. My goodness, this is just going crazy. And it looks like we may be in store for another one. We'll see if Yurtsik's able to win it, but no. Färjestad with one more chance going the other way.
The chance off the windmill. Antonio finds Rubitas across. Doesn't go. 5 seconds to play, and double overtime's on the agenda. Who says I'm getting to the post office today to send out a jersey? Oh, goodness.
Wow.
To the person who recently bought my Elias Pettersson jersey, on eBay, you will see that it's sent out tomorrow. It won't be today because we're going to double overtime here. Unbelievable, my opinion, game of the year candidate. Färjestad and Conquer Gaming shows just how much these two teams want to win and how valuable this extra point is. And
absolutely. I mean, you could see both of these teams want it so much, and it just goes to show just the amount of competitiveness and parity there is in this division. These are two teams currently, quote unquote, outside of the playoff picture, but they're just all so close in points, and you can see why, just how good they are, how back and forth these games can be. No team really is ever out of it if they're, playing the way that Conquer has been playing. They proved that in this one, getting back into it in overtime. This could end on the flukiest play ever, or could end on the prettiest play ever. I can't even say. All I know is I want more of this. Inject it directly into my veins. Second overtime coming up. Take a drink, catch your breath right there, because I have a feeling this one's going to be the exact same as the previous one.
What a welcome back to the Elite Division here in 2021. I think this is everything we could have asked for. It was a 3-week break. It felt like a lot longer. This is one hell of a reintroduction to the talent level that we have here in this league. Good movement here from Färjestad early on. Mullen gets it down low to Antonio. Wrap around, blue scores! Mullen's there on the doorstep to bury it, and Färjestad survive, blowing a 3-0 lead. They still walk away with 2 points.
And Antonio, while he may have got screwed over by a couple shot animations earlier, did not happen on that one. A great animation, while it didn't go in, created that juicy rebound for Mullen, who's able to find it on the doorstep. Nothing Yaresti can do. Unfortunate break from Conquer, and it just seemed to have to happen like that. Just a quick goal there after all the hype that we gave this second overtime. But that's what can happen between two very competitive teams with this amount of scoring edge and with goaltenders this good. Sometimes it just comes down to a rebound, as it so often has in this series. The back and forth hectic action comes to a quick end here in the second overtime. Färjestad getting that extra point, oh so important. And Conquer, unfortunately, with as good as they were, only coming out with the single point.
Still catching my breath over here, partner. What a game.
Yeah.
What a game. What a series between Färjestad and Conquer Gaming. We thought Vesa Pompa and Philadelphia really set the stage there in the bar for what the action was going to be today. And then these two teams, I mean, certainly a sense of theatrics, a flair for the entertaining side. Unbelievable stuff across the board there.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get another look here at the winning goal. It was Antonio with that low cycle, throws it across, and it was Mullen on the doorstep to be able to win that one. Again, a heartbreaker for Conquer Gaming. They only walk away with a single point out of this series, which, could be unfair. I mean, you look at it, just that one offensive flurry, the 3 goals in 5 games, really the highlight for them. Again, they fall to 5-10-3 this season. And it really is a shame, because you look at Conquer, I really do like their lineup. I like what the front three can provide. I like the defensive effort. Capaco's very strong defensively. I was very impressed with him in this stream here today. And Talamies as well, the offensive touch. Yaresti came up with some big saves, but for whatever reason, you could debate it all you want, it's not really coming together for Conquer Gaming this season, at least not yet. Playoff dreams, a little bit further away. That light not exactly as bright as it was entering action today, but at least they walk away with a point. For Färjestad, though, Sin, like we've mentioned a couple of times, coming into the action today, the big opportunity to, avoid being stuck in a tiebreaker situation. It took some lucky goals like we just saw right there. But again, sometimes that's going to be the difference maker. And I think, you've heard me mention this, granted, often in a more angry way. But, when you have two teams that are pretty close and competitive, something has to be the difference maker. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it's lucky breaks and lucky bounces. And for Färjestad, certainly their fair share of lucky breaks and lucky bounces. But at the end of the day, take what you can get. They get all 4 points. And Sin, you said remember it. I do remember the effort of one McSaven at numerous times to keep this team in it. Yeah. And ultimately, again, a big day for Färjestad.
Yeah, 4 points. I mean, that's huge. Yeah, you gave up a point, but most importantly, you got a huge 4 points, moving your total up to 20, and that will put you into that left side of the bracket as we keep getting more and more looks at this late goal. And I was looking at that as you were speaking, trying to figure out if that was actually a pass or a shot animation. It was hard to see with the way the puck moved, kind of looking like incidental contact off the pads or the goalie stick, and it just went to a good position, and Uresti was probably not counting on that shot animation, trying to react to the one-timer, slid over to his left, and it was Mullen there able to pick that puck up right in the blue paint and put it home. But yeah, that's what it can come down to. Like you said, with two teams this evenly matched, it comes down to bounces sometimes. It comes down to rebounds. It comes down to that blue-collar hockey, and that's what Färjestad made the adjustment. We saw them in the first game, looking for pretty plays, everything. And in that one, much more blue-collar. Pucks to the net, bodies to the net. Puck, and yeah, the pucks, goes in.
An incredible game. Again, a game of the season contender there, to say the least. So fair play, of course, to Conquer Gaming and Färjestad for that. And again, we had great games before that as well with Vesa Pompa and Philadelphia. I do believe here, Sim, we have the updated look at the standings. At least we should, with that last game being involved. And it looks as though we don't have that last game updated quite yet. But obviously, we can kind of fill in the blanks here. As Färjestad, I do believe, would be as high as fourth. At the very least, they're in sixth. It all depends on the tiebreaker. Actually, no, they're on 20 points, have they not? So, yeah, Färjestad would be up to fourth.
They leapfrog both H-Reds and Yippee Voskala right there with the same amount of games played. So, yeah, we're really seeing the middle of the pack just go, changing with the hour, it seems, with every single game. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season, but I know there's going to be some crazy events.
Absolutely. Again, and you talk about it, for some reason, Färjestad and Yippee Voskala, they can't get away from one another, apparently. For Conquer Gaming as well, then now we know on 16 games, 11 points for them. So 7 points back of Gotham Knights in eighth, who, unfortunately for them, they started today off in fourth. They're down into eighth, just with other teams catching up. But again, they're going to be just 2 points back of Färjestad, who will now be in fourth. So an incredibly close playoff race that we are going to continue to see play out throughout this season. Not too many teams, if any, can you say definitively, are out of the race. Sin, it was a phenomenal day, to say the least, and I do believe we will be back this Wednesday with a little bit more action. Sawo and Kova going head-to-head. Sawo Esports and Kova Esports. Of course, big day for Kova here as well, still pushing for the playoffs. Sawo trying to get something going. One of those teams where if they don't have a good day on Wednesday, they might just be out of the running. And on the flip side, two teams that are definitely right there. It's Team Leisure and Roots Gaming going head-to-head as well. So some very important matchups with some playoff implications going on again this Wednesday, a 19:45 CET start time. That is 11:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sin, what a day. What a return to the Elite Division. I think this really did set the stage for what the ECL Elite Division is going to bring in 2021. Incredibly happy, of course, to be back and to see how this all plays out. Any closing words from you, my friend?
No, just what a way to get back into the action with that last series especially, but 4 great games today. Expect more of the same on Wednesday and as well as Thursday in Finnish. And we know we get a lot of love, obviously, from the Finns in chat. So thank you guys very much for watching and supporting NHL Gamer.
Absolutely. So again, NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. You can find us basically everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, you know the deal. Of course, you can find Sin himself on Twitter. You see it on screen at Sim for the Win Prod. Of course, on YouTube, it's Sim for the Win Productions. You can find myself apparently everywhere, making the dumbest face in the Zdeno Chara jersey after this past week. Of course, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, the whole shebang at Tugi24. A big thank you to all of you. A big thank you to our sponsor in Wilhelm. We will see you all on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Catch you Wednesday.
Wilhelmin ykköskentän pakkeina uudet tulokkaat. Sour Cream Snacks ja Flaming Hot Snacks. Kotikatsomoissa mukana Wilhelm Snacksit.